All right, guys, and we're live. Welcome back to Let's Hash It Out, episode 26. We got DubDigital back with us again. I got Javier. He's just swinging through town. So decided to come by and just hang out for a day or two. So yeah, where do we begin? What do y'all want to go into today?
LCX. Hi, everyone.
Where do we begin? Fire it will.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know Dub, but LCX is an exchange in Liechtenstein that's going hard on compliance. We're of course people originally also from the Digibyte community, and there's definitely a connection there with like Digicorp and their token DGMV, even though that's on an ERC20, and they're two fully compliant tokens in the LCX exchange, but LCX delisted Digibyte and DGMV. They're going to delist them by the 29th of December, and then you're going to have till the 1st of February to take them out. And apparently, the root of this whole decision has been a lawsuit between Digicorp and LCX, because there was an initial token sale that LCX was the custodian of. LCX is also one third of the owner of Digicorp Labs, and they didn't give the money of all the tokens. I think it's about 2 to 4 million euros that they're missing in their business. So that's about 25 to 50% of their total token sale that they haven't received yet. And apparently, the reason for that was the fact that LCX was hacked at some point, and they claim they don't have the funds, or at least not now. So Digicorp filed a lawsuit against LCX in order to get that money back. And I don't know if the two are related, but they're sure convenient in their timing, and I kind of think that they are. But it makes no sense for LCX as a big exchange to also delist Digibyte. I think it's just a very weird decision.
How long ago was that?
1 day or 2 days ago,
Wow.
they've announced the news. So very late time, and the date is very significant as well because of the MiCA regulation. You kind of want to have a pass if
Well,
you're an exchange.
Well, I was also going to question: do you think that they were wanting to delist to break any sort of conflict of interest on something else they wish to build in the future? Like
Could
if
be, but everyone is fucking crickets about it. And the reason why the date is significant, that it's moving fast, is that if there are 3 countries in Europe that have digital finance laws that basically outrank MiCA regulation, which is Malta, Liechtenstein, and France. And any exchange that's listed in those 3 countries basically got 2 years extra to get their shit in order. So they don't have to get their shit in order by 24. They're allowed to have their shit in order by 26 because they're already compliant to most of the rules. So they get 2 more years before they kind of have to go. Um, well, they kind of have to become compliant to mandatory regulation that's a lot stricter. But those 2 years is a leeway, which is pretty significant. So the fact that LCX kind of wants to do this before the end of the year, just like on a 1 or 2 day notice, and there's a few other coins. There's DAG as well, Constellation, that they're going to get delist as well, which I think is pretty significant considering the fact that we've spoken about Digibyte um, being connected, to the European Union, European Commission, and then DAG obviously comes from the U.S. Marines, I think, at least U.S. military. And I don't know if there's any, red wire between those two decisions, but I thought the whole decision to at least, delist DGMV was pretty significant. Then we had, kind of a fallout between people that run
I mean,
Digicorp
where else
and
is
some community
DGMV
members.
listed?
Uniswap, I think, is the only place you can get it now. Yeah.
Could this be a distraction? Is this all a
Well,
coincidence again? That it all
look,
falls
we have to
in
break it
right?
down in two things. So if we do Digibyte first, I don't think it has a lot of impact, or yet might have in the future. I mean, there was a Digibyte before LCX, there will be a Digibyte after LCX. But as in DGMV for Digicorp, that's pretty significant. I think the whole court case is going to be significant as well. I don't know if distraction is the right word or if they want to create, some sort of precedent legally, some kind of jurisprudence by the token um, suing the custodian. I mean, that hasn't happened before in Europe yet. That's definitely a first court case of its kind. So it's kind of like in the field of SEC versus Ripple, SEC versus Veritasium, SEC versus Library. Even though I think it's flying over everyone's head. Um, I don't know if this court case will become public. It's not really the way that Europe deals with these things. It's usually behind closed doors. But there is definitely some significance. I don't know if it's smoke and mirrors. I thought the hack at the time was pretty fucked up as well because they've had a really shitty back office and it's kind of been detached from their back end from their front end because they basically do registrations manually. I don't know if they still do that, but 2023, a digital like exchange for digital assets is doing things manually. That's just fucking nonsense. And I know the back end is being coded by like 50 Indians that used to work on a few of them at least on Aadhaar as well on the Indian CBDC. So there's some significance there, but fuck knows whether this whole thing is true or not. But at least DGMV as a token is becoming pretty scarce. Obviously, everyone right now is kind of bummed out and it's like, it's a failed project. I invested a shit ton of money. Now they're not delivering. Rudy left as well. Not a good sign. With the Dutch Chamber of Commerce, they kind of have to make their finances public before the end of the year, or at least till latest February next year, and that hasn't happened yet. So it doesn't really pass the smell test. It's something I think a few
Time to
people
buy.
at least that listen. A few people that listen to us in the community are in those communities, so I kind of wanted to address it. It's pretty significant for them. I don't know if it's time to buy. If it will be time to buy, we'll have more time. But it's definitely, I think, something to watch out for. There's like zero liquidity. The whole fucking token is on his ass, but the actual fundamentals and what's being built is pretty fucking significant. So I think there could be, low risk, high reward, but it could still be. Yeah, I don't want to shill anything, but it's
Throw mud up the
definitely.
wall.
Yeah, well, I'm
Maybe
looking now.
it's something I'm gonna follow.
They only have like $300 or $400 in volume.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Hey Dave, can you go to the all chart?
The what?
Like all the way out? Yeah.
It's a pre-sale as well, so it's just a very weird project. And then there's the whole thing with like the lawsuit, even though Monty Metzger, the owner of LCX, is also the owner of the token. And then they're also involved in Digi3, which is part of Digicorp, which has Threefold in it, which kind of hangs under that EU grant in order to build shit. So at least the finances are there to build it. But fuck knows who the developers are, or if the developers are still getting paid. Is Yoshi getting paid? Everyone is fucking silent. Everyone's under an NDA. No one is speaking up. Remember Jared Tate? He was always vocal about exchanges like Binance with CZ. He was always very public about it. He was a pain in the ass for most people in the crypto community for the way he saw things. And now with LCX, we have the same sort of situation with delisting. Fucking nothing. I mean, I get it that he's an advisor on Digicorp, but nothing. Everyone's fucking silent, and I don't get it. If there's such a fallout, then and there's a lawsuit, then there must be some people in the know. Anyway, I wanted to kick off with that. So something to follow.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Well, you know what? It's feeling like a little bit of distraction, and that's just the feeling that I get. This is how I've been in these things where I'm like, damn, in 17, I would have said, I need to sell all my shit just to get out of it because just to watch it go up later. And right now, I'm starting to see a lot more commercials, not commercials, I guess promotions
Scams. I see
on
scams.
on Digibyte. I'm starting to
Scams
see
is good news.
we
Yep.
are. Actually, even Jared Tate is posting quite a bit. Nobody wants to talk about this. This is when
About what? About
I
this,
get
yeah.
scared. Not scared. I get the hair stands on my back of my neck when I start going, why are you avoiding it? Well, why is the community right now, Rosanna or Rosetta or Rosetta, whatever the hell?
Rosetta.
I mean, they're just trying. It's almost like, hey, look over here, look over. Why?
Yeah, well, it's just I think it's significant because of compliance, both for LCX and DGMV. I mean, that was their whole fucking angle, and pretty brilliantly as well. And there's just a lot of use case and the enterprises that have been listed, Liquid Moly, Lulu. I think they're working on a proof of concept for DigiID, Autumn ID with LCX as well to have, passwordless logins. And then I don't really get it because Autumn ID, DigiID was sold, I think, to Digicorp, right? So what would happen if the company, defaults because there's not enough money? Is someone just gonna buy it up cheaply? Is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I really think it's interesting.
Buy low,
Hey,
sell
Ryan.
high, not the other way. So,
But my thing going back to, could this be a patent issue? Not to the point where it was a great idea, everything we didn't patent it, or they
Patent
didn't.
ID for what? For bit
don't-
ID because that's MIT licensed. But I don't know what Autumn ID made of it. They made something else out of that whole bit ID thing, and then they had it on Digibyte. So Digibyte ID became. They created Autumn ID. They called it DigiID, but it's basically a different company. And if they change something in it and patent that, I don't know if they have, then they're allowed to have commercial profits on it. So
I just don't hear a lot of the chains mentioning patents. Are they too late? Were there some great ideas that didn't get patented? I think that there were some coins that were mentioned, earlier on Dub's show, and I'm like, is it that we didn't take or they didn't take advantage of a patent, and now all of a sudden the big boys go, hey, great idea. These fuckers didn't patent it. Why not jump in? And I don't know.
But what patents are we talking about? What tokens?
PPT was one of them, which was small loans. But right now, I'm not hearing a lot of these other ones. Or are they just floating in the background? Or are they trying to slow down the pace? Because we're starting to get a hell of a pace. I'm starting to see it in the news all the time. At least I'm getting sent news articles all the time that Bitcoin this and Bitcoin that. I'm starting to feel early 17.
Yeah.
Well, I think like when you think about like what's patentable, not everything's like, some things are not different enough to patent. Like Reggie Middleton, right? The provisional patent for DeFi. I mean, there are so many things that are so different and unique where it's like, okay, like you have to be granted that patent, and it has to be like different enough from different things. I mean, think about it. Like, how many things in a space are that different? They're usually like derivatives of small tweaks or changes.
Yep.
There's a million of them,
Yeah, and I agree. But right now, how many lawsuits are being done on patents? I think Apple got.
Look at Apple. Right now that's the big news. You want to talk. You don't think patents are important? I mean,
are we about to get to that Clif high moment where patents become an issue? And I don't know how the dynamics of any of these coins work, but nobody's talking about any of the patents, and very few companies.
Well,
I know they're extremely important. I know Theta has some. I know
Compound,
BSV,
N-chain.
Yeah, they have, and so is it that, dude? That's how Alexander Bell got the patent. I mean, did he really invent it? He was the first one to get it. He was the first one to get it patented. I know with Reggie, it's an Aboriginal patent, and so now it looks like he's got 2 in Japan. Not only that, did we patent it here in the United States, but didn't take advantage of some of these other ones all over the world, like Reggie has done. In Japan, I think China is looking into, I don't know, I read something on something to do with China and the patents with Vertasi. And so if we have that, you know what? Was it Clif or was it Reggie that said patents are going to be an issue this time around? And I'm starting to wonder if some of these old good ideas, Paypie was for small and medium-sized businesses to do loans. I believe they were talking about Microsoft was already involved with
invoice factoring.
Well, now all of a sudden, where's Paypie? I mean, that was a hell of a coin. I know. I bought high. I bought during the fucking run. I mean,
well,
I bought low and then I
this
bought more high.
Is it
this whole patent thing?
It is an Ethereum address.
Okay.
And you know what? Up until a month ago, up until a year ago, every 6 months they would put something down. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, we'll buy your coins back, when it was at the almost at the absolute lowest. But I'm still, dude, I can't cash that shit in. That shit was worth some big bucks at one time. Right now, I think all the shit that I have is worth, I don't know, $100. It'll cost me more in Ethereum to get rid of it. So
will they buy my Centra?
It was a great idea.
Can I sell my Centra?
Well, the thing is, it was still working, and it was working hard. That's like some of these silent coins, Pillar. Dub mentioned dude, you were hitting all the ones. You were hitting all my old bets. Proppy, dude, I've got it. I mean,
that's still working.
Yeah, and they're still working. As a matter of fact, the last time, a few years ago, they had settled something in California. Are they just riding under the
flying under the radar,
and they're going to come out,
yeah.
Or did they not patent their shit? And now all of a sudden, JP, my buddy JP, Jamie Dimon has the patent. Because
what's
Dimon and Bank of America have a lot of patents.
Yeah, what is it? What's the patent? How long is it? Is it like 14 years is what it's good for, or am I out of my mind on that?
20 years, and then there's another stipulation. I don't know, Reggie mentioned it, but I can't remember how it'll go back into effect.
I also think
pharmaceuticals.
That if you patent something on current technology and some big players built completely new hardware and they say, we're going to use our own shit on it, then great that you built something for what works now. But if big players say, well, in telecommunications, we're going to use this standard, we're going to use open radio access networks, bye-bye, to your.
It is, but on Reggie's, he's got the DeFi patent. And
I know.
I can't quote that or go into it, but I do understand enough to where, hell, even our own U.S. government is infringing because it's a third party.
It's kind of like a rehearsal, but maybe for Dub, it is interesting because if Reggie, if we need an ETF approval and all these big fucking players want it, then they're going to need a custodian for DeFi. And if they need regulations to be approved, they're going to need to deal with patents and intellectual property in digital assets. And if they're going to deal with that, then if Reggie's going to win his court case with Coinbase, which is probably the most compliant exchange in the US, then what's left with the exchanges? Is it, we had Gary Gensler again, speaking about proof of stake and then making a joke that it's not a stake, but SDAKE. And it's just, it's on his mind. And that's why I think LCX is significant as well, because it is compliant. They settled behind closed doors with the SEC versus Wahi court case. So it's just, and where's the CFTC in all of this?
They're knee deep in it. That's like we say, Louisiana's got the best laws and politicians.
They
Money
got their
can
hands
buy.
out. Hey, right here.
Yeah.
While everybody,
and you sent me that video today.
Our developers are getting the hell out of the United States because of that.
Well, Javi, you sent me that video. You know that they're basically that there is a gag order from the U.S. government to Android and Apple to basically listen in on everyone's notifications.
Yeah.
And they asked, who was it again? The DOJ to basically, you know, become transparent about it. It's the same fucking guy dealing with everything.
Yeah.
Everything revolves around the Department of Justice. It's fucking insane.
That's your buddy, Merrick Garland.
But they're
he's very significant, and there's very little people in crypto talking about that motherfucker, but he's got his hands in every single thing. Yeah.
They brought out the big boys. Take a look at Michael Saylor. He's out there every day. He was a buyer. He's a buyer at 42. Yeah, but he's a buyer at 40 when Bitcoin's at 42. He bought 600 million at 42, and yet when it was 17,000, when it was 18,000, he bought only a 10 million.
Yeah, but the dollar is going down. That seems like a smart buy, but I think he bought it at the right time. I mean,
hey, it's going to keep happening. You know,
the Dixie went down, but that's a different thing. The Dixie went down. The dollar's going to go down. Commodity is going to go up in the next couple of days. So he bought it at the right time. He knows what he's doing, but it's just that's for me a separate issue towards if you compare it to compliance, Javi.
Yeah, and I don't understand the compliance part, but I do feel the manipulation part. I feel you know what?
Is Michael Saylor manipulating something?
You want that ETF? You got to pump this fucking coin. How else are you going to go into? How else?
Well, look at the ordinals. Look at the fees that are going up. I mean, yeah, everyone's moving.
Well, like you know, the market needs, you know, or institutional money needs like a case study. You know, that's what MicroStrategy is in my mind. That's what Argentina is in my mind. They're just case studies, and then like they'll come out and say, oh, you know, our bottom line went up X amount with this allocation. You guys should do it too. Like it's all setting like the stage for like bigger money to come in, because like
they're putting a toe in the water.
Yeah, because you got to like think about it, right? Like Michael Saylor understands all the fundamentals behind Bitcoin. He knew about these fundamentals when it was like a couple $100 too. He didn't just come to this realization and like magically be like, wow, like blew his mind. Like he knew about this. Like it's just public now, and he's doing it with like his company, right? So yeah, I think there is some kind of like, I don't know, when I say like I don't know exactly who I'm talking about, but like these things kind of move in
oh, come on, you know.
Well, I saw
well, there's a timeline
forum post.
There's a timeline.
Bitcoin forum post.
The same day I'm talking about, I think.
Yeah,
I saw a Bitcoin forum post of 2011 where the CIA was already involved. So it's just, you know,
they're probably involved at the
get-go. Institutional. Yeah, it's just institutional money now. So it's
that was at the end of the first Litecoin summit where they came up and gave a speech at the end of the first Litecoin summit.
Yeah, Blinddave, were you there?
Yeah.
I was too. I was there.
Oh no, was I there? Not for the first one. I was there for the second.
I was there.
One.
Cool.
In Vegas. I missed the third one. Now I'm going to the fourth one in Nashville.
Yeah.
And does this link up to anything where Grayscale lost their two biggest CEO and the two big
and then
dogs?
Kathy Wood selling 99% of the Bitcoin on Grayscale?
I mean, I don't know.
No, aren't they selling shares behind the scenes of Coinbase? Aren't the shareholders selling?
For 10 times the price.
Yeah, so you know, is it just because they want to buy back the stock, or is it something that they already know behind the scenes that, you know, maybe Reggie's going to win?
Well, if Coinbase goes away, right? Like,
Then
Who's gonna take
Solana's
the
going to
torch?
zero too.
Who's gonna take the torch though in the United States if Coinbase goes away? I mean,
Well,
they
the
kind of pushed out.
CFTC,
The banks.
because of the lawsuit of SEC versus Ripple, because of the verdict, the CFTC is now the legal embodiment that basically gives a green light on new exchanges, whether they are operable in the US or not. They give out the licensing.
Why?
So it's a good question.
And I understand why, but I'm just saying, you know what? There's been a lot of funny stuff going on to where they've got caught with their hands in a cookie jar.
Well, you ask why. It was the court case SEC versus Wahi that basically created a rule by decree for the SEC, and that pissed people in the CFTC off.
Welcome to Las
that's the
Vegas,
why.
brother. This is you know what? We're playing the game. Let's throw them.
It's all connected. It's full circle.
Yeah,
Pun intended.
They know when they're gonna buy. They know when they're gonna sell. Right now, it's a game. Let's get the suckers in here. Right
Come
now,
on, sucker.
Remember that paper.
Clint,
Remember
if you
that
walk
PayPal
into that
video.
room and you don't know who that sucker is, who is it? Who is it, my brother? Polly, learn a lesson. No, I'm just joking, Polly. I meant another Polly, a friend of mine.
Another guy, spelled differently.
He's
Polly
tall.
Shore.
A lot better looking than you, Polly. Anyway.
Doesn't have an afro.
Yeah,
it wasn't St. Paul, was it?
But
no.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way. Is this an obviously, and I'm okay if this is a game. Let's play it. You know what the game is? The sheep run this way, and you better be a contrarian. If you're,
I still think the game. I still think the game is. Javi, I still think the game is fundamentals.
I don't,
because they're fundamental.
I think the game is control and power, and how can I position myself with regulation, litigation, and legislation for this next cycle.
Good fundamentals.
Because the coins that make sense, I think. What's that word that you used, Dub? I think it was network.
Effect.
Which is a community. It's the goddamn what a better coin than fucking Litecoin. Litecoin's got the people. Litecoin's your stable coin. Right now, you want to go to a stable coin? Go to Litecoin.
It's on every exchange for any other.
The community is strong.
It's liquid. It ain't going anywhere. It's got a finite supply. I mean, you know the fundamentals. I mean, it's like it's a no-brainer. And now watch.
Everything gets coded. Everything that gets coded on Bitcoin can.
Exactly.
Everything that gets developed on Bitcoin can easily be developed on Litecoin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, check it out. Like this is the way I see it. Like they whatever has a centralized head, they've tried to squash. But like not the problem in this space is not everything has a centralized head. So like if you can't control it, join it, regulate it. So that way you at least have some control on it. Like, you know what I mean? Because if you totally like bastardize it and try to like attack it like you do the things with centralized head, you're just gonna force people into it. You're gonna like show your hand. Yeah. Like, oh, I can't control this, and people are gonna like, people like us are gonna be like, they can't control it.
You're like, hey,
yeah,
like they do with Monero. I mean, you see what they do with Monero. It's like what? It's on Kraken. That's the last exchange now before they completely wipe it off the map because Binance or whatever, the next. And then, you start thinking, maybe I should get some of that because
and
they
not a lot
don't
of
like
people
it.
know about that. Not a lot of people know that IRS issued a
bounty.
A bounty to break the Monero ring signature.
That was like $1 million or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what
when
it was.
When McAfee got Epsteined, that guy that built the ledger or was, maintaining the ledger for Monero got arrested in South Africa. I think 1 or 2 days after, immediately.
Fluffy Pony. He's the guy with the boating accident. The guy that coined that
exactly.
phrase. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a boating accident. He got submarined. This is what happened.
Well, and here I'm going to give you some more coincidences. Yeah. That's the way I feel all the time. We have one of our buddies that we know, Jay Snip. He had a show yesterday and says, "Hey, my bank," and this is a guy that knows computers,
sure,
as good as y'all do. He goes, "They're not letting me buy. They'll probably let you sell, but the banks aren't letting them.
Yeah, he could not take a wire transfer.
Wire, that's what it is.
Yeah, he couldn't wire money
Another
into all the exchanges.
Right at the same time.
And that was the credit union. It wasn't necessarily a bank, which, apples and oranges.
Yeah, wasn't it Caitlin Long that created, that whole Bitcoin custodian bank? And she basically she's been waiting on the license since forever with the SEC, never got it. And then FedNow was announced, and suddenly all those banks are in it, and she isn't. Yeah. So it's just, it's a big fucking club, and we ain't in it.
Yeah, I know.
We're not allowed in it, and they're going to
see that's the problem.
On and off ramps.
Exactly what they're going to do, and that's why I think. What do you think about this? The first thing that pops into my head, what I've been kind of stewing about for a while, is that they'll regulate the exchanges, and they have to comply, and they basically handicap them, break their legs, knees, and everything they need to do. And like Binance, they got a babysitter and overseer watching them now, from the government. Either they comply and go along and pay their fines and get their envelope of money, and pay, and we don't hurt you anymore. They do that, or they just put them out of business. And I mean, the next exchanges are going to be banks, aren't they? I mean, that's kind of how I see it going. They're going to be the custodians.
Yeah, but not commercial banks though. Central banks, commercial banks.
Right.
If the dollar is going down and liquidity dries up.
You may have certain commercial banks that are allowed or anointed, 2 or 3 of them, Javier's friend, Jamie Dimon. But I mean, no, absolutely. I think the banks, in my mind, are going to be the custodians of this crypto, and you're going to play by their rules, or else, either you have it now or you're not going to get it. And if you're going to get it, you're going to play in their, what they've created in their system again. That's how I think it's going to go, but I could be totally wrong, but that's how my gut feeling. The banks are going to be your crypto custodians.
Going back to the JSNIP thing with the whole on and off ramp. I mean, that's why they went after local Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Anything, look at local Bitcoins. It's like some rudimentary, you meet up. It's kind of sketchy. You don't know who you're going to run into. They want, and they attack that. They attack Monero. No one really accepts Monero. It's just really mainly peer-to-peer. They attack that. The things that look the most janky, they're going after because they're actually the most uncontrollable. Right. So I think you're right. They're gonna try to stop the in and out points. The only in and out points that they allow you will be probably through those sanctioned exchanges, to probably be banks, and they won't really let you get it like you guys brought up last time. Keep it on their layer 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's also also a max cap of fiat that you're allowed to buy with a bank and a digital asset. I think it was everything above €1,000, and I think it's $3,000 or $10,000 in the US gets flagged by the IRS.
Exactly.
And then you have to fill out a lot of fucking paperwork.
Hey, use BitPay. I helped somebody use BitPay because that's the crypto gateway. To buy things. You can use BitPay, this and that. I helped somebody use Bitcoin to buy silver on BitPay, and I mean, over a certain amount, I don't know what that is. It may be $10,000 because it was a little bit over that, and it may be $3,000. I don't know what it is. But on BitPay, even though you have an account, even though you've done it before, for that transaction, you gotta take a picture, your driver's license, authorized government ID to be able to buy silver, with BitPay using Bitcoin. And so I see where they're going with it. I mean, there's going to be a system here, and there's going to be everybody else that doesn't want to play in that game. And
kind of like the American government, where
it's like it is now.
You go to jail, and if you get a boat full of cocaine, you get a pass.
You love that story, don't you? Come on, man!
I love that story. That's you want to know a gangster, Jamie. Jamie is a gangster.
He's a gangster,
big time.
What part of the club?
What did he do wrong? He brought RICO charges. Nothing.
Need a meme of him with a Tommy
My question here is how, the SEC has gone after a lot of these companies. How do they make their money now? Who's willing to play the game? Who's got the money to play and
basically blackmail them?
Well, I know, but
they strong arm them, and then they get some money, and then they say, "Hey, now we're in."
Everything's either a shit coin, and they don't have the. Take a look at some of the coins that were old coins that we're holding that had some good fundamentals. Maybe I think is the word. They're worthless. Pillar. They're still working. All I know is they put 3 or 4.
It's suppressed. All of it is suppressed.
emails on my thing every day, so they're working hard. But what happened with them? They got their ICO. They got the hell out of the United States.
Well, see, like when people say they're worthless or they're dead, what does that mean, right? Because the utility these projects have are still real, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like whenever we do a peer-to-peer crypto economy, it's the only way that we're gonna have like any kind of meaningful utility in these projects. Because dollar value, they can crush you.
White paper.
Yeah, but if you use Pillar for what it was meant for, it still works.
Exactly. It's just the price has been suppressed. That's really what it comes down to. They've suppressed it on their market in their casino with their ticker price. That's what's been suppressed.
Yeah, we just hold on. I mean, we still own
keep playing the casino, boys.
One pillar. I hold on because I think I would get like 45 cents for all my shit that I'm fucking holding. I mean, I know there's no way I'm going to cash it out yet. I'm waiting to go into negative figures.
If also much, why sell it? Like
how is the SEC going to continue? Who are they going to go after? People are starting to develop outside the U.S.
AMP.
Okay, so you got one or two left. Okay. After them, who do they have? How do they make their money? Because their money was not to give us regulations, so that they could come and give us a speeding ticket and go, where's the speed sign? I don't know. Somebody used that one. And there was no speed sign. We decided you're speeding at 30 and tomorrow it may be 40, but whatever we decide.
Hey, Javier, what do you have to hide? Give me your license. Give me your registration. Get out of the car.
We're losing all our rights.
Orders. And then pretty soon it's like,
now
wait
what did
I do wrong to begin with? Doesn't matter.
That one thing that you were on, the stake, that show that you were on, that they go, we're so worried about this GPS on our phone. And I don't know who was on that show that you were on that said, they know everything about you already.
There's a bunch of people that on that show that basically do cybersecurity.
Yeah, that's so I was impressed.
It's basically the gist of it, and we could go on hours and hours on end explaining the how and the why. Basically, the gist of it is that everything is known. Like
it's been there already, though. I mean, they've had gateways, they've had agents. I mean, the government's been in all these carriers for 20 years. I mean, they already know what all this has been already done. It's already in place. They're just rolling it out and letting you know now. Everybody's freaking out about T-Mobile and the terms of service. I don't even know if it's real or not. They're like, oh man, if I say something, I'm going to get fined. And it's like, yeah, they already know what you're doing, and now they're just rolling it out, and they're going to, tax you on the tollway. That's all they're doing. That's all this is going to be.
Yeah, but
you're going to be on the tollway. You're going to pay the fine. You're going to pay the fine.
Here comes the use case for encrypting your metadata.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
people
an important
want
thing.
that.
Absolutely. The thing is, I don't think you can participate in society going forward if you're doing that. So you've got to, at some point, you got to, fork in the road. Which one are you going to do? You got to make a decision. Okay, I'm not going to have all these luxuries that society offers anymore. I'm going to have to take this other path, which is going to be harder, and just like build outside of that. I mean, I think they're pushing us towards that. Otherwise, you're just going to get ushered into this river of just, I don't know, evil, basically.
Yeah.
Steak, give me 1-0, and I disappear. I'll break this goddamn phone, and I'll go to the nearest library while I'm traveling all over the fucking United States. Fuck them.
And then they got cameras everywhere that can face scan you, and they got satellites everywhere that can see everything that's happening. It's a total techno.
Yeah, but people don't realize.
I'm going to the jungle, brother.
People often don't realize you're going to the jungle. Yeah. You should make some live streams there.
A little jungle fever.
I will.
A little jungle juice.
Jungle Javi.
Let me see if I got a fucking picture.
We'll give you a volleyball.
Arcane Bear. He was the one who moved last. No, not that. He moved in 2017.
Where the hell is it?
Is
it?
Okay.
Welcome to the jungle, baby.
It's safe for work.
Camouflage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna recognize me like this?
We'll finger paint a volleyball for you.
Yeah. Exactly. Dude, I can change my appearance quick. I like to eat.
We're all going to be masking up voluntarily, you know?
I think that's so true, though. Like, I mean, they just make it increasingly harder and harder. They don't need to control you 100%. They just have to make it difficult. So, like, most people will comply.
Self-imposed control.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know the thing with that difficulty adjustment, to name something, that's a good point. So, for people here that are in the space that kind of know what they're doing, they can probably find a workaround. But like your average Joe in retail, you know, he's not going to figure this shit out. It's too much hassle, you know.
Right. Why would I bother? It's too. Everybody now works. I mean, there are people that don't have bank accounts now. It's like, okay, fine. Well, I don't have a bank account. You know, I'm bankless. I get my direct deposit and Cash App. You know, I can spend it and send it anywhere I want. You know, and so they build that mentality, that ease, that frictionless ability to send money to where it's like kind of hijacking crypto in a way. You know, and what crypto is, you think it's peer-to-peer, you think it's easy, you're sending it. Hey, I'll send this person $20 because, you know, they paid for my dinner, or I'll tip this person, you know, I'll do it on Cash App, Venmo, whatever it is. And they think, oh, see, you know, it's easy. It's a done deal. See, they built those systems to make it very easy and very fluid. And so you should be doing that with crypto. Hey, man, you got a crypto wallet? Oh, no. Well, I got Litecoin or I got Bitcoin in my PayPal. Just send it to my PayPal, you know. That's like, no, that's But not everybody. That's the thing.
You know what?
Most people are going to volunteer into slavery. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah, because they go like
the hardest lesson is looking at a coin like Populous, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, now I look at my wallet now. What used to be worth $800 and something thousand, you can buy for $300 right now.
And you know what?
$300.
It had good fundamentals. They did. You know what? It was there was a really good use case for it. And did someone? My question, and I've asked this to maybe one of y'all other smart guys know. Did they sell it? Did he sell it because he didn't have a patent to it? Did someone buy it? Did I don't know, but that the idea was a great idea.
Sure, it's a great idea.
Great idea. I mean, we need that. We have small businesses. They need loans. We need medium businesses. They need loans. Paypie was the same. As a matter of fact, I remember reading the things that blog blessed through Reggie Middleton. Those are two of his top highest rated coins, and Paypie was even higher. What happened to it? Who took over? Why did it get silenced? I don't know. I mean,
loans are a big bank business.
Absolutely. Look at what they're doing. What did Bank of America do just this week? Bank of America just this week announced, you know, for everybody immigrants, basically, anybody that's coming into this country, they're going to get, we'll give you loans, you know, for houses, for whatever it is. Anybody with a pulse. And so here we are again, because, you know, we need to liquefy. And the whole end game is this, if you understand anything. They're going to liquefy it with all the fake money that they create. But ultimately, what do they want? They don't care about the money. Money doesn't mean anything. It's just a tool to acquire assets. So if you can go out and get this asset and, you know, put it in your name and then you can't pay for it, then they'll go take it back. You know, we squeeze a little bit out of you, you know, while you're paying. But ultimately, they want the assets. They want the ground. They want the real estate. They want the food production. You know, they want the industrial production. That's all they want.
They want your metadata.
Exactly. They want it all. They want your soul at the end of the day, because then they can control everything, you know, and then you have no free will anymore because they want you enslaved. But, you know, they want those assets. I mean, and so money is just a tool. This artificial instrument that they call money is just a tool to get you to enslave yourself to them for as long as you can continue to do it. And then if you can't do it, well, then we're going to take the asset that we gave you the money for, that we created out of nothing. I mean, it's a big scam. The whole thing's a scam, and that's why it's so important to have some kind of sound money outside the system to where you can do peer-to-peer, and that's why the white paper is so important. That's why, you know, it's so important to be able to understand what reality is and understand what you really need, and then have possession of those things and not have some kind of lien or an encumbrance on those things, because ultimately it comes down to survival now. I mean, we're in that time where it's ramping up so fast that if you can't survive with what you have, I mean, it's going to be hard. Even if you own all your stuff, it's hard to survive. I mean, because they're still coming to you trying to collect taxes. They're still trying to take it away from you. But if you don't own it, I mean, they'll take it away anytime they want because they'll enslave you to the point where you can't pay for it.
It's not working for us here in the United States because we still have credit.
It's not working for us.
Run up a credit card, you get another credit card.
Working for other people.
Yeah, but that's the great thing. That's the great thing, Javi. That's the great thing, Javi. If the dollar decreases in value,
third world countries, that's where it's needed because they keep getting their money devalued. So they're running to something. So what we're seeing as a negative, what are they seeing it as? We only see it as a negative because we have more credit to go buy more bullshit.
Well, that's the mother of invention is need. So if and when anything happens to the monetary system, those projects like Populous and Paypie, well, Pillar 2 will come into play because of the controlling your own data. However, the invoice factoring, being able to have a small business where I got $30,000 on contract. I'm basically already paid for it, but now I got to wait 6 months to get paid by it. It's like I can go ahead and sell this invoice, get paid 85-90% of it, and I walk with the money immediately.
Of course, it was
and then I'm on to the next deal. Whereas someone like me with the capital can put that up, and I can just earn that percentage, on the back end.
Exactly.
Let me go back to this.
But now you're the bank, and they don't want you to be the bank. They don't want you to have that kind of leverage.
Right, but that's needed in the case of
absolutely is
of a collapse or any of that.
Absolutely
and
is needed.
I see that is the main reason behind.
And so we got to collapse everything to get rich and get wealthy. I mean, that's a bad situation, but I mean that may be how it goes.
It's not. No, it's not. If you have a lot of debt. If you have a lot of debt.
I understand that. You know what? I'm just tired of them fear mongering me, and maybe that's what we need is a total collapse of society. Because if we don't have it, my boy is still going to be in the picture. He's already.
Man, don't get me started on that because I've been waiting for that day.
Coming out of it.
I mean, it needs to happen. There needs to be a cleanse.
Where can I buy my Jamie Dimon coin?
Well, guys. Whether it collapses or it just continues to hyperinflate, like everyone needs to know it's not gonna last like forever.
Can't.
Like you
never
can't
has.
hyperinflate forever, and you can't either they're gonna collapse the credit system and then money disappears, and that's probably like the worst thing that can happen. I mean, that's what happened in the Great Depression.
Exactly. There was no money. Nobody could get access to money.
Look at the last 2 years. Everything's double in the store.
If you ask Steak right now, Dub, they don't have credit like we have credit.
Well,
we have as much credit as we want.
But the thing is, we don't own the underlying asset
hear me?
either.
Yes, sir.
So if the dollar goes down, and that means all other liquidities and currencies in the world go down as well that are invested in it, like the yen, the euro, the Swiss franc, the English pound, the British pound, that shit will collapse before the dollar. But it's great for debt, it's great for debt. So if everyone is debt out of their asses, and all of a sudden the dollar coin becomes worthless, then the debt is very easily repaid because the debt loses its value.
Look at what we printed in the last 4 years.
It's not a bad thing.
Take a look at gold. Take a look at oil. Take a look at even homes. I mean, let's go anywhere with it.
Yeah, I mean, like the average Joe is fucked. Trust me, they're going to socialize the losses.
You know who isn't fucked? The person that was never using nor digital nor any kind of money, and they were just holding on. They've got a few dollars in South America.
In an old sock.
But they're still dealing with trading a fish for a chicken.
Yeah, everybody that's used to being poor already and surviving, they're probably going to win.
Now we got India. You mentioned India. How many there? 1 billion people in India. South America. How many people in China?
1.5, I think.
I mean, we keep going. Oh, we're gonna. No, not we. It's we as Europe. The people that put us in this fucking mess are the people that we go we. But the people in India aren't pissed off. The people in China. What happened in China when they tried to put in a CBDC? They said, we're not gonna fucking use a CBDC.
Well,
they didn't.
You have like the petro yuan now, So even Saudi Arabia is kind of dealing, oil in Chinese yuan. That was pretty unprecedented. So there's definitely things changing.
And I don't know.
Well,
are they trying to back that with gold?
Who knows?
Why would they back with gold? Why would they back with gold when they have like oil? I mean, they could just make their own petro standard. I mean, just cut us out.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have Russia now.
Yeah, you don't have to yell. The mic's right there.
I get excited. I don't even know that. I don't even know there's a mic.
You can sit back, man. They can hear.
Relax. You don't have to get up all in its face.
Let me just say,
for frick's sake,
I get too damn excited about this shit. I mean, I enjoy this every single day.
Yeah, because you see your country collapsing. I mean, you see what they've done to it. And it pisses you off.
It's not that my country's collapsing. That gives me great, it hurts me a lot. But it does make me feel good that these son of a bitches are going to have to pay for it. And you know what? Because when
I think the son of a bitches that pay for it is retail.
And then there's loss for them.
Right. I don't know that they're going to get smacked.
I don't know.
I don't think they are, Javi. They're not paying for it.
No, because it's going their way right now.
At what
the only thing that's not going their way, is that their new asset class got to retail first, and a few millennials and Gen Zs kind of got into it before they did.
To slow it
and
down
that's different.
Take control of it.
Do you know how that works for them? They got to give a few of us a bone. They've got to give a few people. They can't go 1% is all, and the rest of us are completely shit. Because at one point I go, you know what? I'm a fucking goddamn wild animal put in the corner. And what is it that you say, Clint, when you have nothing and nothing to lose?
Well, that's Gerald Salente. When you got nothing left to lose, you lose it.
You lose it. You damn right. And that, because it comes to the point where if I go, oh, wait, you want me to go and work moving stones to make another fucking pyramid all fucking day, and you're going to give me some rotten food?
Hey, bro, but you know what? Hey, in a few days, minimum wage in Illinois, where I live, goes to $14 an hour. California, we've got what? Fast food workers going to be making $20 an hour here. Not too long.
It should have been like that. What, 5 years ago?
No, because
here, American minimum wage is
nothing.
Do you know what India minimum wage is?
No, I know. But
the thing is, China minimum
they don't live in the fiat system like we do necessarily. Exactly, because they're using real assets.
Making less than fucking $8 to $10 a day. Yet we at $14 an hour can't get somebody at a beginning job.
No, you can't.
Here, there's a problem.
Well, we were the what do you call it? The consumers of the world for so long, and like people think that's a good thing, but the consumers are pretty much like the cash cows. Like we get milked. We're getting milked. We're getting paid more for pharmaceuticals. We're paying more for insurance. We're paying more for food. We're paying more than everyone because we don't produce.
Well, Dub, here's a really interesting
outsourced
point.
all the production.
And most people don't understand this. What we consider middle class, Dub, is a guy that owns $400,000 on his house, maybe $80,000 on the cars, $10,000 on these Christmas that just passed by, and a homeless person. Is that someone that's higher than that person that owes? Because he has the homeless person doesn't know anything.
No, he can leave. He's got the freedom to go wherever he wants.
The guy that's leveraged $500,000.
Yeah, well, seriously.
Here's the thing, because our financial system is built on debt. Like money is basically debt. It's expansion
of
credit. So like up until now, that's actually worked for people. That's why people are talking about buying zero money down on houses, getting rent. Like it actually got you ahead. But now debt has hit a critical threshold where it's not productive like that anymore.
Yeah.
So like now, like you're right. This who is better? Like whoever owns the real thing. Because if this thing pops, and it will pop, it's whoever holds the most assets.
Yep.
It's what
the real asset, not a derivative.
An asset is something that you own free and clear. You don't. If you have, how many people do we know that own houses and they go, no, where's the deed? Oh, you don't own it? That's a liability. Unless you own something, unless you've got title, show me the title. If you can't show me the title, it's kind of like holding cryptos.
Yeah.
And you don't have it.
Here's my statement. Here's my ETF statement.
Right. It's like
Look at
the
all this
last chick
Bitcoin
I
I got.
dated. She a strong, independent woman. She put 3% down. It's like, you don't know nothing.
And right now, they're giving anybody a loan. Anybody. You got
They are. They have to.
You got to
keep it going.
Credit.
Yeah, and the only difference
you're
between
gonna get
other
a loan.
countries and us is that you could put 3% down a home and live way above your means.
Absolutely.
And because other countries don't have the credit, you get 3% down, that money will get you a fraction of
Yeah, so you got to go build your own hut. You know, just like we did 200 years ago, you got to go cut down your own trees and build your own cabin on your property, you know. Yeah. Now it's like, oh no, hey, somebody built a $500,000 house. I'll just go leverage it out and I go live in it.
Yeah. How willing are you going to be if you've made your own hut? You know how to survive. You go and kill a chicken. You go and kill get some eggs. How willing are you going to be to go help that 1% motherfucker to go cut his lawn? Are you going to be, yeah, you know what, I'm ready to do that? And at what point does that military not being paid enough because they realize that they're losing their family?
That really is the key.
And you're not
at what point do you not suit up and do you not follow orders? I mean, that's my end game. I mean, it really is.
Either you give somebody a
when
bone,
that happens,
and there'll be a few people that catch a bone, or you can't have this system, or you can't have.
Well, I thought about this before. Like, you had the Hoover Dam in the U.S., and that was like a big community-driven project that was paid by the state. Why wouldn't they have the infrastructure bill that's already printed and priced in and basically employ poor bastards? Exactly. So you employ the poor bastards that don't have a job, that are indebted, they don't have a choice, and you let them work and you bring production back to the US. You start to employ these people, citizens, and you start to educate them in a profession that's producing something, a digital infrastructure. And boom, there you go. Problem solved. Everyone's a bitch.
Well, I'll say this though, real quick. That's the last phase of money expansion. Is like crazy infrastructure spending that's not very productive.
That's what
the digital infrastructure and an infrastructure is productive. That's the thing. An infrastructure is productive.
But see, the thing, Stake, is we fund that off of credit again. Like that just devalues.
They're still taking fake. They're still taking fake money
somewhere. Hey, it worked for Nazi Germany.
Yeah, they also got a Volkswagen that everybody paid on and never got to drive.
But they went through hyperinflation.
We're offering minimum wage at $14, $20 an hour.
Yeah.
And we don't have workers.
Well, that's why you need to own a digital asset that's on a proof of work UTXO that's not owned by anyone. I mean, you want to opt out from this shit or you don't.
And that's what you got to do, but you got to do it now.
You either get it or you don't.
Right. I don't think exactly. That's what it comes down to. But I think that's going to be the carrot in the sky. Oh, well, we can put part of it in Bitcoin. It's just like your retirement. Oh, we'll take 20% out and match it and put it in your retirement. And oh, look at all I have for the future. We're going to do the same shit with Bitcoin. They're going to say, hey, look, it's up here and we'll match it. And, oh, it's up here. Well, you can't touch it for 10 years or something, something ridiculous, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's tied to your pension fund. It's tied to your pension fund. So you just,
and guess what? You just can't do anything with it. But you
just can't touch it. It's not.
It's
on the blockchain.
When you're 95 years old, if you're still alive, then you can go get it all out. But
but we're going to kill
immutable
you in the meantime. We're going to
pensions.
spray you. We're going to put crap in your food and your water so that you don't make it that far. And then I guess it's the state's money.
We're going to make you a bug sandwich, and you're going to like it.
That you can't digest. But it fills you up.
Hey, did you guys hear that they're going to be doing toilet water
free
in California?
Netflix? Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah,
why not?
What are they going to do?
Recycle all of it.
Recycling grade water and sewage
to drink.
What?
We're going to sell it again to us, and we're going to pay taxes.
Sorry,
they're going to recycle. They're going to recycle gray water and sewage in California as drinking water.
Yeah, instead of salt water.
Yeah, why is that? Just a second. Why is that an issue? I mean, we've been doing that in the Netherlands for maybe I have to look this up. More than a century. I mean,
sorry, bro. Drink the water in fucking the Netherlands and in California.
It's the best. It's one of the best water in the world. It's better than your plastic bottled water.
Yeah.
It's better than your plastic bottled water. They have a
thing.
better filter system than any company out there.
Right.
In that fucking water.
Here's the thing with water. All right, water never goes away. Water always exists on the earth, and it's just a matter of what it transforms into. And you can filter it just like anything. I mean, you can take pond scum, water, whatever it is, filter it and drink it and be okay. The problem with doing what they're doing in California, in my mind, is that okay, they're going to take the sewage water, and as long as you filter it, it's okay. But the problem is, if you look at the studies, everything that's in the water, all the pharmaceuticals that they're not going to filter out, you're just going to be constantly medicated with this stuff. I mean, they'll filter it to get all the shit out of it, but they're not going to get the pharmaceuticals out of it. And so you're going to be drinking all that stuff. Who knows? You'll be drinking Adderall and all these other, ask your doctor if your toilet water is right for you, kind of thing.
Yeah, for me it'll work, but yeah, I don't have to pay so much. But no, fuck, this damn thing is recording me.
Well, it started with fluoride, right?
Yeah, exactly. Poisonous. It's got it on the bag. You got to wear chemical suits. Pour it into the public water supply. I mean, what is wrong with everybody? But then you go back and look at it. You look at who funded it, and you look at why they put it in. And I mean, give me a break. I mean, you're not filtering the water
down, so that way you're
not in crypto.
This way, if you get a little floaty in there, you're like, it probably wasn't a big piece of shit that just came down my fucking throat.
When they start putting corn,
you know what? We are
water.
We are a world where the majority is water. And really,
most of us. The world's like 70%. We're 70% water. I mean, hello, it is what it is. I mean, water is like the main thing.
Well, in India, they actually hold like community-driven events where whatever community could dig the most water catchments gets money, and because they have a rainy season, right? So they basically dig a bunch of holes. So you can look it up. It's crazy. And
like a cistern where it catches the water in it
and goes in the water table.
Yeah.
There's
ways. It gets filtered. I'll take that.
And the ground filters it naturally. I mean, if you've got a well, it filters out most of the stuff. Yeah, you can get parasites and bugs in it, and this and that. But it's better than drinking it out of the freaking sky with everything that's spraying it right now. I mean, at least it gets some ground filtration. I don't know. I mean,
put it this way. You're old enough for Clinton. I know I am. How many gallons did we drink out of a dirty ass fucking hose?
Yeah, a lot of it. A lot of it.
I mean, that was just anybody knew that you got thirsty, you're running around, went to a water hose, any neighbor's hose, turned it on, you drank their water. Right now, you can get shot for that.
Now it's in your bottles because basically unregulated industry. You go get bottled water,
and who got rich? Nestle.
Yeah. Nestle. Yeah, exactly. The big corpse.
Coincidence,
And then they go to Africa and they take over and get water rights, and because it's just it's so big and so ridiculous that.
I just want to do reverse osmosis on the whole house, the main water line that comes in before the water heater. Then I have no issue with anything.
That's the best way to do it. I mean, if you can reverse osmosis all of it.
And then
you know what, Blinddave, the two guys on the bottom. They're the ones that are going to have to go through, put up with all this shit. Me, I don't have that much more time. I may be able to make it, but God dang it, for y'all, if somebody doesn't do something, they said the taxes and then they screwed us. They said, you know what, it was only going to be taxing the rich. Now they tax our income, our houses, then we pay for our house, we tax that. And now if you have a garage sale, we want to tax on that.
Well, yeah. You get $600 on Venmo.
We're not there yet.
You got to tax that now.
Yeah, we're not there yet, Clint. We haven't got enough taxes yet.
Well, that's why they want unrealized gains.
Oh yeah, now they want unrealized gains. The potential of you making money, we need to be able to tax you.
Well, think about it. You got Bitcoin on the ETF that says Bitcoin's $1 million. Well, if you got a 1 Bitcoin, they're going to say, well, you got $1 million. You got to pay taxes on that. Well, if you deposit it in our ETF, though, then we'll give you a pass. I mean, it's all control. It's total control. That's all it is. They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to know that they're scamming you.
We've always had a change of income. We had it from the Romans to the Spaniards to the French to the Germans. We've had everybody take over the currency. Are we at
they
the
control
end
the money, they
right
control
now?
everything.
Are we to the point where we're going to go like Lisa says? That's it. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Is Bill Gates going to mix concrete? I mean, does he have that kind of resource? You know, I mean, seriously, what kind of energy does he have stored up? No, I mean, really, what can he do other than tell you what to do and laugh and smirk? I mean, you know, these people, these pale vampires, what can they do? Nothing but control you and narrate to you. And then, oh, okay, yeah, okay, you're smart.
But they're not
your dad was, you know, can control a Planned Parenthood that wanted to exterminate black people. Oh, yeah, okay, he's a good guy. Yeah, he wants to vaccinate everybody in Africa. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, he's trying to help people. Give me a break. I mean, you got to see through all this illusion.
You know what? He owns all this land. How hard is it to farm 1 billion freaking acres? How hard is it for him by himself? How hard is it for him to keep an eye on that?
Well, we just created a bill for the tortoises.
Yeah, well, but that's okay. You know what? If we suffer, and my thing is, let's just even up the game. I don't mind suffering. I've done it before. I mean, shit, I grew up not too wealthy, but I know how to make them suffer. God dang it! If you got to cut your own lawn, that's actually suffering to a lot of people.
But if
it's going to go worse, how are they getting their water? Because eventually, they've got to drink that shit water because they're going to run out. They're going to run out of it, and they're going to eliminate their own family and go, look, we've only got X amount of gallons.
No, robots, bro.
Exactly, and that's the danger of where we're going. I mean, they'll automate everything. It's Star Wars shit. I mean, it really is to where, you know, you've got drones that take care of everything. Oh, you don't comply.
I don't think the automation is that much of a problem. I mean, that's just technological progress. The whole problem that I see is where's the social upward mobility? You know, you get born into a class, you stay in a class, you know, into perpetuity.
System,
you're a serf into perpetuity, but you're also an aristocrat until, you know, into perpetuity. It used to be 3 generations and maybe some rich families got a few more out of it and then they die off and you get a new round of people. Now, all of a sudden we have a system where no one has a shot at the top spot. It doesn't matter anymore. I don't know if that's healthy for human behavior. You know, at some point we want to knock off the top monkey of the mountain, even if it takes 3 generations. We get there, and then there's a new monkey. That's kind of the way we do it, right?
But there's somebody guarding the monkey. The guards need to wake up. You know, it's like the Wizard of Oz.
It's technology
guarding the witch. You know,
that's where robots
evaporated.
That's why it's like possible now for them to be on top forever, right? Because it's like robots there now. They don't need you.
They show up. A drone comes. Done. You're out in the yard, walking the dog, done.
The AI keeps the door closed. Like, this is the part where it gets dystopian, right? Because, like, back in the day where feudalism and kings and queens and stuff, like, they had guards that were like, you know what? Like, let's end this.
And sometimes they, like, poison them. It's like, okay, it's for the better of humanity. We'll give them some bad food or something. But now they're so insulated to where, you know, it's all technology-driven, to where it's Black Mirror kind of stuff, to where the bees show up and sting you, you know, and infiltrate your house, you know, or the ants or whatever it is, or all the genetically modified mosquitoes and come and give you some disease. And I mean, that's where we're at though. And that's a scary thing. It's crazy.
It's not that I want to leave this country. I'm very happy here, but
I don't think it matters where you go.
At what point does Blinddave, who's got an insulin issue and he can't get it, go, wait, so you mean I give all this up, this house that he just fucking tore down and rebuilt, but I go and I live my life, I pay a lot less for medication, a doctor, everybody here around me that's in the same shoes is living in that country, because right now, take a look, why are all these crypto boys? I mean, the OGs, y'all remember, y'all were here early, or everybody but you, Steak, but we were all here. Where are all those OGs?
They disappeared. You know, all those freedom fighters, all those Bitcoin freedom fighters, you know,
the ones that we know left early. And now they go.
They saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah, they went to New Zealand. You know, they built their bunkers. You know, they did their thing. And it's like, that's not how we win, though. I mean, you can, you know, you're alone.
No, you know what? Because you're trying to force a square peg through a round hole.
I know, and you get it, but it's like, man,
I don't want to leave either. I mean, my family, my friends, my drinking people, place in Illinois that I go get burned up at. and shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave. But
Trial
at
by
what
fire.
point do you go, you know what, for the betterment of my family?
I know when that is.
I mean, it happened before. There were people that were happy in England and in France and all over there, and they finally go, fuck you, we've had enough. We're going to go to this other fucking country where there's a bunch of savages, or at least that's what they told us.
Right. And then you go there and they're like, hey, you still need to send the taxes home. You still need to do this for us. And you know, it's like, no, F you. And then, all right, come on over and take it. Well, then get out of here. But, you know, it comes to a point, though.
You still got to pay taxes.
At what point can you not fight anymore? Because technology is taken over to such an extent to where everywhere you go, they just send in the robots, like you said. I mean, if it gets to that point, then what?
I don't know.
I think that point is closer than we think.
It's very close.
Well, and I get what a lot of people say. Oh, just pay your taxes. Just pay your fair share. The moment that changes for you is the moment you have to issue a 6-figure check to the IRS.
And you're just like,
that changes for you.
What am I doing?
That's when that changes your mind.
Yeah. Because you go, I can go live somewhere else.
Right. What did they do to earn 6 figures from me?
They didn't kill you, basically. We didn't take all your stuff.
Their part.
Thank you.
There's absolutely no risk. And so put it this way, you know what? I want to pay my taxes. I don't mind. I like driving on these nice roads. But look where our freaking money is going right now. I just drove from Texas.
It's going to a border consolidation. And then it's going to go back.
Terrible. Where's our money
Once
going?
the border consolidation is gone, it's going to go back to building up infrastructure in the U.S. It's going back to the empire.
Who's blind? Who doesn't see this happening, man? Who doesn't?
Javier, what you need to do, you need to get a good contracting gig, and you need to be hauling people in the back of the Sprinter for $5,000 a head. You go talk to Hot Wheels. He'll give you the contract, and you can run them up here to Chicago. You know, you can run them, you know, whatever city you need to go to, and they're going to pay you in fiat dollars, and you're going to be able to spend it on whatever you want. I mean, that's what's happening. And they've all sold us out. They're selling out all our resources and say, here, take it. Take it. Let the hordes come in and do your thing.
Yeah.
Everybody benefits.
You know what?
Well, you know, the majority of skyscrapers in LA are owned by China.
Exactly. They've sold out all the resources
when
to
you
somebody
look at
else.
It's almost like a default, right? Like you cut up
the
assets.
We're already bankrupt and we're already selling it off. It's like a controlled bankruptcy over time. And, you know, that's what we're dealing with. I mean, it really is.
Tell me what kind of country we're living in without our credit.
Well, I think the credit is just like the little bit of honey now and then, a little bit of sugar now and then to keep the bee flying around and working. I mean, I think that's all it is because, you know, you don't own any of it. I mean, they've sold it all off. The hive's gone. I mean, you're just reporting to the hive. Here, have a little sugar, have a little honey.
At what point do you go? They did that to Snippy. They go, hey, you can't send a wire. These are people
because that's what they're going to do. They're locking it down.
Are we there? And I put it this way: I'm not willing to give up my citizen. I'm not saying that this is people end up thinking, well, Javier hates. No, I don't hate America. I love freaking America.
No, I love the idea of America. You're putting me in
a situation where I need to continue to exist, and I'm going to tell you, I would be afraid to have 40 more years instead of 20 more years of life.
Scary future.
Because I don't know that there will be enough.
Well, see, like, here's the thing. You don't got to go to another country. We just need enough people that go off into their local woods. And like,
I mean, really, no, seriously, take over a state. I mean, you know, if you have a state, you know, and you've got pockets of that. And I mean, you know, Texas is a potential. Florida is a potential. I mean, South Dakota, that's potential. I mean, there are those potentials, and it doesn't even have to be the whole state. I mean, if you can take over a region and control it and be constitutional, you know, with the principles and do that kind of thing, I think that's where you have to start. Because as a national scope, what it is now, it's completely lost. I mean, these people, Richmond, north of Richmond song, you know, that kind of thing. You know, those people that are there don't have your best interests in mind. I mean, you know, I think everybody sees that. It's just, what do we do about it? How can we, you know, and most Americans are willing to be pushed to the edge and suffer and, take the abuse for a long time before they do anything about it. But I mean, I think that's what needs to happen. Your president's not going to fix it. We tried that. We tried to get a bull in the China shop. Nothing happened. Got the same old people in there, $7 trillion of money printed. And, and then the next guy that comes along, it's not going to change as far as that goes. I mean, it has to change at a fundamental level to where we get back to a community level and say, listen, we're breaking free from that. And, it's almost like another migration, like you talked about from Europe to, to here. You've got to get to that point to where it's like, okay, no, it starts here. And this is what we're going to build. And we're going to have our own money, do whatever we want to do. We're going to be peer-to-peer. We're going to have our own resources. We're not, and we're going to give up some things. We're going to give up a lot of luxuries. We're not going to be able to watch the Obama, leave the world behind on Netflix because we're not going to participate in that anymore. We're going to have to create something new. And I mean, it's a revolution of the mind, and that's what has to happen. It's a revolution of our energy. And, we've got the tools to do that. We just haven't done it.
Yeah, we're under an illusion that we go to the woods and we go and kill animals and we have our kumbaya moment. That's not very easy. I'm going to tell you. No, it's not.
That's hard.
Because
life expectancy is like 40 years old. When people did that.
And here's the difference, Cliff. Clint, God damn, don't get me started again.
Don't call me Cliff. Bull Pony will be after me.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're doing it for yourself. You know what? You can go hungry a day. But you're taking when you got a whole community of people, a city, and your wife, you're hurting. Now, all of a sudden, you start bringing your elderly parents because you don't want to leave them. It starts becoming a lot harder. In theory, you go and kill a deer. Oh, you can't refrigerate it. Most people will die from parasites and infections from spoiled food. Most
they got bad water, they got bad food,
the wrong water. And if they don't understand, it's not a kumbaya moment to where, we're going to go. It's not going camping. Camping, you take your shit with you and you go and you have a fire whenever you want to.
It's glamping.
You've seen those shows where Live Naked or Naked and Afraid. It's not as easy as we all think. I'm not saying that we can't do it, but you know what the problem with that group is? Community. Because Clint, you may be well read in medicine, and you, Dub, may be a good fisherman and could fly.
Fill in the blank.
And you can, and I may go. You know what? I've got guns. Or I've got lead that I could defend. And as a community, we start work. And Steak and Blinddave are moonshiners.
So I'll do the dishes.
We're stronger, but without it, dude. You being a good fisherman by yourself, dude, you're going to eat for a while until somebody really hungry like this comes up there with lead and goes, give me your fish and give me those flies.
I think that's why
realize they're killing the goose.
We need a crisis of the money because things can go on exactly how they have been. We just have to agree that we're going to get paid in this now. That's it.
That's it. 100%. 100%. We just opt out. We say we're done. We've got a system to where we can use it. And they take down the grid, they take down all this, and but then it's a whole different scenario. And then these people have, the robot's got to charge themselves at some point, right? If the grid's down. But I mean, you have to have that mindset of I'm tired. This is every civilization. It's not just ours. We've all gone through it to where it's like, I'm tired of the state, and the bread and the circus. I'm tired of this, tired of that. And you get to a point where it's like, now I'm withdrawing from it because I can't participate in this anymore. And I use the modern day example of quit playing in a vampire casino, because every time you walk in, you're still feeding, that casino. You're playing with their chips. You're playing in their arena. At some point, you have to pull back and say, all right, how do I disconnect from this? How do I find like-minded people that use the tools that are available at the time? Right now, it's crypto. Gold, silver, whatever it is, food, whatever skills. I mean, you've got to get to that point. But I mean, I don't know how many, there are a lot of people that want to do that. They just don't know how to do that. And I think it has to start at the grassroots, because nothing's going to change at the top. They're going to keep rolling out the system that they want to have in place. They're going to keep doing the things they want to do. And, if it gets too painful, you don't want to pay $5 a gallon for gas. Okay, we'll knock it down to $3.50. You know, okay, oh thank God.
Tree
You know, and they'll do exactly. They'll keep pushing you far and then bringing you back, pushing you far, bringing you back. And meanwhile, you're losing everything that you have in the process. And I mean,
at what point
you're not going to win in that game.
I've traveled quite a bit in that little van that I have, and I enjoy that immensely. But I've gone to California. I mean, to Colorado, and I've gone to deep down in Florida to Key West, and I'm seeing these people that we consider hippies. Dude, are they doing it right? They're living here in the States. They're growing. They're eating a lot healthier than we are. All their vegetables they grow, just because they've got old and dirty clothes, they choose to. You know what? We hire some of them when I go on some of the hunts in Colorado. And I've mentioned this before. And they come in and they cook. And because of the altitude, they cut a lot of the wood. And they're there just, and they're happy going and making a little extra money doing that. And I'm like, I've talked to them and I've said, they're very educated. And I go, God damn, dude, you've got a college. Some of them have degrees. Some of them have masters. And I'm like, what a waste of your life. And they're like, no, what a waste of you. You go work your fucking ass off all year long to have fucking 2 weeks of hunting. Dude, I could do this every day of my life. This is the way I live. What about your taxes? Fuck you. What are they going to come through?
Have you heard that story about that, like, I might say it wrong, but it's about a guy, like a rich guy who's vacationing in Mexico, and he goes out to like hang out, like fish on a boat, and he charters a boat with this Mexican fisherman, right? And he goes like, hey, this is your boat. This is a beautiful boat. You know, have you ever thought about like, you know, going out and catching X amount of fish and then saving up this money and this amount of time, you can get a whole fleet, and then you can get more money and this and that. And the guy was like, wow, like the guy who owned the boat, he's like, wow, that's a good idea. You know, when I have all this money, like, what would you want to do when you have all that money, like retire? He's like, well, I would want to retire and fish. You know, like it's kind of like a circular kind of thing.
Delacroix.
You know?
Right. Well, you're doing what you got to do what you love now and you know, live your life now instead of looking to the future because, you know, you got a finite window of time. And no, that's 100% right. It's a good parable.
But they
in that. Exactly. It's all mind control.
They trained us, dude. They trained us to have that house. They trained us to have that white picket fence.
Hey, interest rates are low. Get the biggest house you can get, you know, and then that's it. And it's like, well, how much do you need? You know, and I use the example of the Leo Tolstoy story of how much land does a man need? You know, where the natives say, hey, you can have all this land. We got all this land. Sun up to sundown. You walk around, you make a circle, everything you walk, you know, is what you get. You just got to show up here before sundown, you know, so everything you walk around during the day and circle, or, you know, you can have it. And then, you know, the greed kicks in and the story goes, the guy keeps walking. Pretty soon he's like, oh man.
Somebody finds mushrooms?
Pretty soon it gets low in the sky and he doesn't make it back. So he dies because he's exhausted himself and he gets nothing. And it's like, how much do you need? And the lesson of that is you only need 6 feet. You know, you need a plot to put your body in because you're dead. You know, so you've got to realize, what do you need? What do you want out of life right now? That's what you should be doing, you know, and instead of all of the hype and all of the glamour and all the things, you know, they make you think you need. You don't need any of that. What makes you happy right now? Understand that. Ignore all the noise. Ignore all the propaganda. Ignore all the magic tricks.
We don't want to give up that running water. We don't want to.
I mean, I don't think you have to, but
we lose the way we used to take care of ourselves. We lose that.
What makes you happy?
That's
what you got to ask yourself.
Out of the ground. We've lost. You know why? Because we are trained that those people. If you were to go to Colorado, you would go. The guy's hair hasn't been cut, and he's unkept. You would think he's unkept, but that's his choice.
Yeah, who cares?
See, you can't live that way because people judge you.
You got to conform, you know.
You have to go in and fall. The guy grows his own plants and he grows his own stash. He sells that on the side. These guys, I've gone into dispensaries, whatever the fuck you call them, in Colorado. These guys are fucking geniuses. These guys are doctors. They're like, that ails you, smoke this. This ails you, take this. These guys are freaking goddamn, and those are the workers. That's because they have to work. I'm very impressed. And so are we doing it wrong?
Well, there's like communities like that, like Mennonites, you know, stuff like that, where they still do that stuff. It's just like, you know, you just have to learn the skills. It's doable.
Yeah, they self-educate themselves, and you know what? They don't pay taxes. They don't pay their taxes. Did I send it to? I think I sent it where the Mennonites don't have to show any kind of. They show a number ID because they don't buy it. You know what those people buy? I know because I went down south and I hung out with some. They train horses. They get paid in cash. The only thing they buy is salt and land. Those people are fucking wealthy. A lot of people go buy all their products. It's well made, and nobody knows about it. They go down. They'll break down the barn. You don't want your barn anymore? They'll take it down. They'll come up horse and buggy. The whole community comes up there. Absolutely. And they educate themselves. They speak English. They speak German. And I believe it's French. I don't know what other. They speak 3 languages. Spanish maybe down south. I don't know. But it's an incredible community. So there is a way. But the thing is, it doesn't fall into our category where you're like, you mean I don't have a light bulb in the shitter? So I got to go take a shit in the dark and take a candle with me? I don't have hot water? No, you got to prepare. You got to go heat up your own water.
It's a different path. I mean, it really is.
It is truly a different path.
And it depends on, and most people don't want to take that path because, you know, I mean, face it. We've got all this technology. We should be able to utilize it. We should benefit from it. But, you know, everybody's hijacked the technology, though. And that's kind of where we're at, and they control it all.
Well, it's also kind of been engineered that way, right? Because my parents, my family's in the Caribbean, and like they have a lot of like fruit trees just growing on the road.
Yeah.
You're hungry, you go out there, you pick a mango.
All over.
That's everywhere. It's like, you know.
Food's everywhere.
It's kind of like manufactured.
Knew that.
Yeah, it's kind of like manufactured scarcity, right?
It's artificial scarcity, and that's what they put us into. That's exactly what they put us into, and that's, oh, well, sorry, can't build the cars, you know, because of this or that. Oh, well, the Red Sea's closed. It's going to cost you more for this or that. Oh, sorry. Okay, but then to go local, and you start thinking, okay, wait a minute. Look at all the food that is locally grown that just goes to waste. I mean, I see stuff go to waste here.
It's like
pears fall off the tree, and it's like, throw it on the garden for nourishment. You know,
dude, here it's like $100 a plate at a restaurant, and it's like, no, I can go right down. I can go 2 blocks that way and catch it.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but we're throwing away good food. There is people that have decided to live, and I'm not saying us or anybody, but there are people that are deciding they're eating for free.
Aren't there more people overweight in the world than that there are starving?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at
America. In a political issue.
8 billion people fit in a state the size of Oklahoma. I don't know what I saw that.
They created this problem. There's plenty of shit everywhere.
Created a problem.
That's why Clint talked about heirloom seeds, right? Like they want to manufacture the seeds so they can't produce.
Oh, you can
exactly patent the seeds. Patent the seeds.
You start planting.
We own the technology of the seed. Wait a minute. What? You own the seed technology that basically comes from God?
FDIC approved to plant your own freaking goddamn strawberries? Can you plant your own corn? You may hurt yourself.
You can't sell that milk out of that cow or that goat.
No,
that needs to be regulated. It needs to be pasteurized because all those nutrients are bad for you.
You got to take the good shit out of it. And people have been fucking living that way for years. People have been living that way for years.
That's how we got here.
Under an illusion. And you know what? Traveling sometimes, I love it, but I'm in a different situation than most. I don't have a family, kids. And so I have that luxury to study that and to see that. And you know what? I've been talking to Dave and I go, goddamn, steak scares me with all those zeros. Javier, you're going to have 5 0. I had 5. I'm like, dude, I don't even want 1 0. If I had 1 0, I will be more than pleased because I don't know what the fuck to do with it. Because I still want to live that lifestyle. And I'm going to be truly honest with you. I've met and know a lot of rich pricks. I would much rather hang out with those fucking hippies. 10 times.
I know.
I enjoy it. You know what? They teach me all about all kinds of chemicals. I don't even know where the hell I'm walking half the time. If not, they're giving me some kind of clear liquid through the. Did we go away?
Uh-oh.
No,
You're still there.
no.
What
We
happened?
got censored. Dude, I haven't moved.
No, hang on. I got the
Wait.
stream up over here on this
What's
other.
up?
No, you're still there.
Yeah. I'll let us shut down. That's on.
I see you
Hold on.
guys. You're still.
This mic is on. I
Is
think
Dub
the
still there?
TV
Yeah,
gotta
I'm still
watch.
here.
There's stuff electrical here
I had-
and electrical here. So
Yeah, I didn't even touch. I had my feet here.
Let me see if we're still.
I mean, we're
going.
still live.
Yes,
I can see you. I can hear you.
We got censored.
Check on your
Yeah.
phone. See if
Yeah, I got
we're
censored.
live.
I
on
did.
your
Yeah, it's
phone.
still good.
Fuck,
Still
it'll
good.
take an hour.
I'm gonna mute my mic in case they're just.
No, I can hear him.
I don't think you hear us.
No, I think
Yeah,
we're good.
now we can.
I don't know what the hell I did or didn't do.
You got
Right.
censored, man. Congrats.
You-
It's like I got shit
You know
over
what?
here and over here, and you're like, damn it. It's like,
Well-
whoa.
Welcome to the Matrix.
That's why I'm avoiding me as a study of life. I mean, like I said, I don't have much education at all. I barely have a high school education, but I love traveling. I love going places. I mind my own business. I'm enjoying it. And then I tell Dave, dude, am I already there? I don't need the damn money.
That's what I mean. You're already living the dream, man. I mean, you do it now while you can.
I got my
You
van.
know?
I go while I can.
You roll up with Oso. You just you do your
Come on,
thing. It's
man.
like, hey, I got this, I got that. You know,
We go
I gotta
burn
get something to
myself
put
on
fires out,
Burning
you know?
Man at Clint Westwoods. Get my dog fucking goddamn sprayed with a skunk. I feel
Shows
like
up with a case of Hornitos. I mean, hey, life is good, right?
a lot of tequila.
I had my electricity turned off for the first time. Not
I remember.
because- not, right, ever. But and it
How
wasn't
was it?
because I didn't have the money. It was because I just had other shit to do.
I forgot about that bill.
It cut the electricity off. I'm like,
Dub, what
the
we're
shit?
talking about on Westwood has twice a year a group of people that get it. Well, I don't know if I can call most of them are people.
Yeah.
But we have an interesting time, and he has a
remnant.
barn out there, and dude, we have a great time. We don't remember much, but
Remember
They
They hang out in the bar
You
here
ever
behind
get
me
it?
and
Yeah.
go outside and do our thing.
Get
I
Litecoin
think-
lit.
Yeah, exactly. Get Litcoin.
well,
So I
exactly.
think that's important, though. I mean, I really do. Not the lit part so much, that's a choice. But I mean, it comes down to it's good to have those communities. And to me, that's always been my dream early on to where, okay, if I can use crypto to build something here, to me, that is a sanctuary. That's always what I wanted to do, to have somewhere to where we can be human beings. Because we're talking about AI, and social media, we're all talking to, each other like this. And that's why it's so important to meet up, to get together and share ideas and have that human involvement, that human element. Because going to the future, I don't see that that's going to be something that's, 15-minute cities. Are you going to know anybody? Are you going to be able to hang out with anybody?
You don't know anybody.
Well, let me share something on AI here, because I think it's kind of relevant with social media, because being a child of the internet, and I kind of figure all of you are as well, and the people watching too, we kind of notice the algorithms pulling the same like-minded people into the spaces. It used to take a village to raise a man, and now people only get raised by a certain type of people because they hang out for the same interest in topics, so they don't get out of their bubble. Everyone has a thin skin. Everyone is easily offended and touched by everything in their feelings because they don't get out. They don't hear different opinions. Then everyone is stuck. And if you have like an AI that's actually, kind of like a shelf baby, a fake person.
Yeah,
They
like
created
the movie Her. You ever see that with Joaquin
Yeah,
Phoenix?
exactly. Well,
Yeah,
that's actually
kind of
here.
thing.
That's actually her voice of Scarlett Johansson. They created a
Yes.
chatbot AI. I don't know if you saw it, but that's actually the voice. And it's actually the voice of Scarlett Johansson, and most people fall for it. It's mind-blowingly good. And what they do, and I do social work as a profession, they kind of have like this whole psychological angle where they scan all your metadata of you as a person, what you ever did on the internet ever in your whole fucking life. and they kind of talk to you the same way that you would talk to yourself, but from a different perspective. So you kind of like this person because it's like someone that really gets you, because you're actually
it's like
talking
you,
to
but
yourself.
it's a female. So you're like,
yeah, but it's exactly. So
She
what
gets me.
happens is you get people with like different, that bot is going to reflect everything back to you in your personality. Instead of, catering to you with a like-minded crowd, you suddenly get that whole 360-degree angle of different things in how you could interpretate things based on, and this is my conjecture, where do they want to steer me with my behavior? Where am I going to go with my behavior? What am I supposed to think? It's like a very advanced digital thought police prison to basically re-educate you in your behavior of who you are as a person and how you come across very organically and naturally, but you don't even know anymore who you're talking to. This kind of shit happened last week. This is not some futuristic dystopian shit. This is on the market right now. I have a few accounts on Twitter Spaces that we're kind of in the AI space. We're kind of figuring it out. We're kind of like, well, these 2 or 3 could actually be not real people. We might actually been talking to a bot for a few months in these spaces. We're kind of figuring it out, but it's in everything that's accelerating. How good it is right now, how good do you think it will be in 3 to 6 to 12 months?
Well, and think about this shit. You're right.
Fucking nuts.
You're 100% right, Steak. And then what happens to where it's like, there's a few people out there that like to hear what Clint Westwood has to say. What if I say, F it, I'm going to sell out. Hey, give me $1 million. You take my persona. They go and run with it for the next 20 years. And you think you're talking to me, and I'm here smoking cigars with the dogs, not online. And it's something else. It's like Scarlett Johansson. It's her image. Well, who was it? Darth Vader. James Earl Jones sold his essence. Basically.
Did you know that Disney patented an AI actress?
Yeah, and so that's what's going to happen. You're going to have real
They created an AI actress, and Disney gave it rights.
She's singing to me. She's talking to me.
No, but it's a fake person. It doesn't even exist.
No, it doesn't.
It's the best superstar that ever.
Sorry, one of the biggest trends happening right now on like the influencer world is AI generated Instagrams of like girls with thirst traps, right? Like just posting bikini pics, all this stuff. And I really see like I heard about like OF content creators like doing that using generative AI, pay to service where you could just make whatever pictures you want. And
then when they know your
it's not whatever bitch you want. It's they know what you like. They create the bitch you want. The bitch you want is already created.
And then you don't leave.
They got your porn data, Dub. They got your porn data. They know everything you're into.
Then the robot shows up and you can act it out.
That's the world we're living in. I saw a poll that like said like, hey, like I guess it was random people online saying, would you care if you like had an AI girlfriend? Like, would you use one? And like most said no, but like 20% said I don't care. Like there's
but 1 out of 5.
20%. That's mass adoption. Anything over 17 and a half is mass adoption.
So like we have a population.
Instant mass adoption.
They don't care.
Let's go into this.
Makes me feel good. Just hook me up to the Matrix, put my Neuralink in, and I'll go to sleep. And I'll.
But what do you think about e-boyfriends? They can just talk to their e-boyfriend about how their day was. I mean, you never have to listen to another woman again. But I don't know if that's a good thing.
I mean, for the interpersonal relationship part, definitely not a good thing. But I was gonna like beyond that weird stuff, right? I think that like you know how they could kind of predict what you're gonna do based on your metadata.
Yep.
I think ultimately that's gonna go into behavioral economics, where they could run like situations and scenarios, or like if we do this, how would they react?
Yeah.
And then they could just
what was that movie with Tom Cruise again? Minority Report. That they had a chance that you committed the murder before you committed it.
Pre-crime.
And you got arrested.
Yeah,
pre-crime. Yeah.
We know what you're thinking. You know.
This sounds a lot like that, Dub.
Yeah, but me and Clint come hit the computer. All we need is what 2-3 minutes tops. Boom. That's it. It's over.
And like getting even weirder, like the whole Neuralink thing.
Yes.
It's like they're gonna have total control on. They're gonna run. They're gonna know
of your
if they
body.
do something.
Did you know that Neuralink used to need a chip like inward in your skull, but it no longer needs that. So if you have outward EEG stimulation through like a VR or an AR glasses, that's sufficient already. So you don't need the chip in your brain surgery anymore. That's old news. That's no longer necessary. Happened this year as well, and somewhere in March, if I recall correctly.
Early this year, I was doing a lot more news, like AI related news, and they're trying to work on a technology that a machine could sense your brain waves from a distance.
Yeah.
So
it's like if you
interpret your thoughts as well with imagery, so like you can see what you dreamt and you can actually watch that movie.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you know
fucking nuts.
I don't know.
But they do it all the time now. I mean, you know, you go to Netflix or go to whatever program, whatever TV, you know, whatever streaming thing. It's like, oh, this is for you, selected for you.
Yeah, but do you really think with like regulation?
Like, yeah, I do like that movie. I think I'll watch that. You know, and they just
but do you think they can put that genie back in the bottle? I feel like I watched The Matrix again this week.
You have to put it back in the bottle.
Can you remember that scene from The Matrix? I thought at the time it was good, but I didn't really thought it was that good. But now I rewatched the movie again for, I don't know, the 6th, 7th time in my life. And there's a scene in there that actually got better because of the way technology got. Do you remember like all those people in those pots that were harvested for their bioengineering energy by the robots?
Yeah.
That one really hit home. In the sense, like, if I'm just going to be this consumerist, that's just going to be this, I don't know, dopamine fabric. Is that what I am? You know, is that what I'm going to run on? Is that what nature needs?
Now you
more
don't have,
fucking dopamine?
You don't have your carbon footprint anymore. You know, it's nice and condensed, and you're living in a little cubicle, and everything's fine. And how far are we from that right now?
Well, and to go into that part. We all hit 3 zeros, 4 0, whatever. It doesn't matter. And I know your answer is, I'm not going to change. I'm going to be the same person.
Nah, I'm going to change.
But you've already changed.
You can't be the same person. You've
been changing.
Now all of a sudden,
they changed you.
We are living a different lifestyle. The people that you try to remain the same. But show me how many people have been successful trying to stay the same once you make that kind of money. Your group of people, you said it, State, you're having people fix you in a week. You're not, I mean, people can't do that. People can't go to the Fiji. Hey, here comes a storm. The hell with it. I'm going to go fly over to private. I'm going to fly private and go and see one of my other rich friends, because you're not going to go see broke friends. You're going to go see people that are within your and that doesn't mean that we're bad people, but if we're truly honest, you know, in theory, we say we don't change. We do change.
We all change. They've changed us.
Well, your financial situation is just like a manifestation of like something that's occurred inside, right? Because you have to learn things and do things that you didn't know before. But like, I mean, hasn't that always been the case though? Like people have had resources throughout history and they exercise those resources. That's the whole thing with sovereignty and like preparedness, you know?
Now we become one of them.
Well, I mean,
we become one of the people that try to rule. And in our minds, we get convinced, like we're convinced now, that we're trying to do a good thing for the rest of the people. Look, we're trying to give them food. Look, we're trying to fix the environment. Look, we're trying to, and I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying there's a saying, it's easier to fall into a up than to go, no, you know what? I am very wealthy, but I'm going to live drinking piss and shit water because you know what? I want to be with the rest of the people that I grew up with or that don't have what I have. And I can't just drag all them up there. So at what point do you go, no, I'm going to fly private. And I'm not meaning, I'm trying to get people to look at it outside the box. Those 1% got there. You see it. I like to watch a lot of Kings and Queens. I guess, what is that? Not prehistoric, a time period movie. I love, and you see it. The people that were in the palace were all having a party, and shit, even Caligula was having a wild, wild time. But the rest of the people, we just kept taxing the son of a bitch. We taxed them till they didn't have anything else. Well, we had a party. And when you're living that life, it's really hard to go back and live the life of a peasant.
Yeah, because you start looking at it, and this is where we're at now. It's like we've been throughout history. It's like, well, they don't deserve it. Otherwise, they'd be here. So F them. They're peasants, and they're going to be peasants, and that's what they've chosen. So, yeah, you know what? They're here to serve me. That's their choice. It's that survival of the fittest mentality, that they threw out there with Darwin. It's like, you deserve the situation you're in. You would have survived.
They weren't patient with Litecoin at freaking $71 for 104 years. If they would have, then they would have seen it different.
Or whatever, pick your coin. Doesn't matter. Pick your coin. Exactly. Pick your path.
And so are we just lucky enough to fall? Dave and I have talked about it. We're like, who are we going to leave it? If Stake is right, who are you going to leave it to?
You got to find a way to leave it to humanity in some kind of educative way. I mean,
you want to
uplift people in some way.
Will be very, very humble. But there comes a time where you go, dude, in my case, some of my family, I'll probably be dead in a week if you can't give an 18-year-old fucking serious money.
Well, I think
so now I have to go and work at it. Okay, we're going to divide it. We're only going to give you this, and we're going to give you this with the growth of it. And so at what time does it become work to where I got to share what I made?
So Oso becomes a millionaire, and he's got Chewy delivering the food every day, right? And he owns
a dog, German Shepherd dog that I don't know that with a living trust. Y'all should look at it. It's absolutely hilarious, but I don't know. I just live life fully, and I try to. Dude, I do that now. I do. When I give unconditionally. People don't know what I do. I do it my way, and that's the way I'm happy doing it until something else happens. And yeah, I want to be able to help society, the community, but will I be able to distinguish? Do the rich people now go, yeah, we're doing this wrong. We're really screwing the peasants by giving them that much credit.
There's like 1% that might do that, and you see them breaking out sometimes. Once in a while, you'll see somebody from these families step out and say, listen, this isn't right, and I've got privilege. I've been raised that way with a silver spoon, but I need to do something for humanity. And then they get their heads blown off. Because you're not playing by the rules. And that's unfortunately
or
history.
They get their money taken away, and then they're right back in your shoes going, I screwed up.
So I heard something this last week, and it just made me think, what if we are the 1% of the future? Because we are in crypto, right?
Probably
I wanna offer a counter proposal to that. What if we are the 0.001%?
It could be a lot smaller.
Well, it's even smaller than that if you want to get picky with it.
Right. But let's just say less than 1%.
Right. Yeah. It's 1/10,000.
The rest of them are gamblers.
1%. But beyond that, so now I hear that Polygon. Was it Polygon or Tesla? I think it was Polygon is going to be wrapping Bitcoin to earn residual income off of Bitcoin in such a way. As far as residual income, so is that the bonds of the future? So are we going to be earning residual income, dividends from these assets moving into the future? Kind of like the wealthy do today, but of dollars. So is that where we're headed?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Honestly, the way I look at it is countries used to back their money supply with gold. Bitcoin is just a improved version of that for the digital age. If we went back to a dark age, gold would be the king.
Yeah,
but that's not
because it was.
Yeah, that's not what we're doing now. We're more
efficient.
Digital. So now, we're going to have a situation where all these countries' currencies are going to fall. And it's easier to back them all with Bitcoin because you could split each one up by 1 million parts.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Who owns the Bitcoin is what it comes down to. And if the bad guys own the Bitcoin and they just basically do central banks, used to own the gold, now own the Bitcoin, have we won?
And the way I see it is, I think the East is going to back it by assets because they're asset rich, they're resource rich.
I'm glad you said that.
And I think And I think the West is going to back it with digital assets.
South Africa.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be.
I agree.
I think
most people come up and go, "Oh, USA #1," and dude, it's not that I don't think that USA is #1, but let's be realistic. Everybody keeps moving on, and we have a group of people, the SEC, that says we are going to regulate. We have countries, third world countries, that have regulated Bitcoin, yet we can't. You know why? Because if we regulate it, now there's rules, and you can't find the people. Why don't you just find the people that are committing some of the crimes? I've got some suggestions, my friend.
Well, you can find them. It's just that, I mean, they're still going to restaurants and people are still serving them for minimum wage and getting big tips, and they're happy with that because they're just getting by. And I mean, they allow these people who are vampires to continue to perpetuate a vampire casino. And I mean, you know, until enough people say, "Hey, I'm not going to wear the uniform anymore. Hey, I'm not going to serve these people. I realize what the evil is, and it's not worth it to me. I'm not giving up my soul for it." But you know, that takes a grassroots movement. That takes people to identify, know who the enemy is, and most people don't even know who the enemy is. They don't even realize how they're being enslaved.
I agree.
You know, and that's where we have to come in and say, "Hey, listen, you're a slave. We're all slaves. You know, what do we do to get out of this system? You know, are there tools to do that? Yeah, there are a few tools. Once you pick them up, so you can fight the economic war." And it could change overnight, but
well, they're not going to find out they're a slave until they have no money, and I think that's what universal basic income and CBDC is all about.
They won't even notice. They won't even notice. You'll just. I said this before. You'll just have your commercial or central banking app. You'll download that. You'll do KYC. You'll connect it with your chip in your ID, your passport. You know.
Yeah, we're the easy guys.
And then on the back end, everything is different, and you're hooked on the new system with your pension fund. Everything liquidated.
I mean, you got to think
just
about
through NFC, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Because here in America, you know, you've got a lot of people who have worked and said, well, I've paid this much into Social Security for the years I've worked. I've got this pension. I've got all this money I put into the system. I'm owed that. And then if they're given an out, if they're given a new system that allows them to tap those resources in some way, and yeah, they might have to jump through some hoops. Yeah, okay, well, whatever. It's just like, you know, people now to where it's like, well, I got to keep working, you know, 2 more years and I get my retirement. Well, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. I don't, I got my Social Security coming. So, as long as that's good, I'm going to keep, doing my thing, and I don't want to make any waves. Nobody's going to make any waves until everything they have is drowned by the tidal wave and is washed out. And then they say, oh, okay, yeah, I knew it was coming. Well, now it's here. Now what do I do? And there are some people who see it coming and say, okay, I don't want any part of it. I might lose. I might not have invested in Solana. I might not have invested in something like this. But, F it. I'm going to ride the wave, baby, as long as it keeps going. And at some point, you just say, no, I'm not going to ride the wave because that wave is bad and it's going to wash everybody out.
We're making our money on high risk. You in the stock market, you're making money, even though it's a derivative.
Santa Claus rally, baby. It's still going up.
We ended up with a great idea, Bitcoin, and now all of a sudden, how can we screw that up? Let's bring some ETFs to where we have more derivatives. You know what? The rest of the world comes up. At what point do they go, you know what? We're done taking care of y'all. Y'all had the easy life. What's our gross domestic product? What the
diabetes.
Besides diabetes, what the hell do we produce here? What do we produce here in the United States anymore?
Weapons.
And so if we don't produce anything, you think the rest of the 7 billion, whatever amount, we're 320 billion, and I've said that. And we've been a privileged class. Whether we want to accept that or not, we are. I'm not saying it's been wrong. We have developed a lot of things, but they've developed a lot of things outside the United States. There's been a lot of incredible inventors. We just don't know anything about anybody but the U.S. here. So there is things that are going on. The rest of we're going into a one world currency. And I'm sorry if you think that they're going to be paying us millions and billions of dollars so we can go travel the world, not work, and go watch these other people go work their ass off. Because it's going on right now. You go to India, and I think minimum wage is, I'm going to say, I don't know, $3 a day, $4 a day. So if we go into, are we even at, How many people are going to go take the job? Right now, say we need a programmer, and I don't even know what the hell a programmer is, but if we needed a programmer, somebody goes on here online and goes, I'm looking for a programmer. There's a guy in India that they go, you're paying what? $20 an hour? Hell yeah. So at this time, you've just changed somebody's life in India.
Yeah, but cost of living is different.
I go work at McDonald's and eat burgers. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Cost of living is way different.
It is, but I think that we go. David, take a look at Papa Bush, and he said one world currency. He's got to even. Is this what this migration shit's all about?
Well, how do you reconcile fiat backed by gold and fiat backed by a blockchain?
Derivative. I don't.
I want the asset. I don't want the liability. I don't want the claim check. I want the shirt that's at the cleaners. I don't want the claim check.
I want the deed of the house. I want the gold coin. I want the silver. And you know what? At that point, are they bullshitting us? Because put it this way, historically showing, silver has always been 10 to 20 to 1 to gold. Right now, I think it's 80, 84, 85. It was 120 to 1. But Blinddave said it. There was a time, and boy, I remember that day when gold and Bitcoin were the same price. $1,000
for an ounce. Yeah.
What the fuck up I did.
Then to watch it go over a kilo.
Yeah. Right now,
that's where it's at now.
Hey, I've been doing some charting on precious metals, and
I think it touched 2,100 now.
Yeah,
Gold.
I think it did. Go ahead, Dub.
So I've been doing some charting on precious metals, and like around 2050, platinum looks like it makes gains against silver and gold and everything. So it's like, it's interesting, and like charting doesn't tell you why, but like there's probably some use cases for these metals coming down the pike, especially with the robotics.
They're precious for a reason. They have.
I was in a space last night with a guy that's in cybersecurity, and he posted today. He will be posting it briefly. That shows that the Amnesty International had a finger to play in the genocide with the Houthis and Tutsis, which is an area that's very renowned for its cobalt.
All the nonprofits have done nothing but enslave people.
Yeah. But, Amnesty International has been very, pinnacle of morality. It turns out that they're no different from any other NGO. So, oops. Maybe the West is playing a game. Yeah, who knows? I thought I'd drop that bombshell here. You'll hear it in the news probably in the next couple of days or weeks. If the guy doesn't get whacked. It's just, yeah.
Steak.
All a coincidence, right? We're coincidence theorists.
Yeah, and you know what, Steak? If you ever get a chance, go. Well, not only Steak. Anybody that's listening, Dub's show. I just got turned on to it by Dave. Dude, this guy's a fucking rocket scientist, and I truly mean this guy's a world of knowledge, man. Anybody get a chance, go in there, and it's basically our conversations. He's aware of AI. He's, I don't know, dude. He's practically, I enjoyed listening to him. I've gone back to listen to all the little nitbits that he says, and he's got it. When he comes up and he's got his plan. He's got the little grandmother or grandma way of doing. You want to win, he's got a way to win. And you go, no, well, I didn't knock a 500X. No, you didn't knock a. But you won. You sold at a profit. This is what Dave's been doing. I've been telling people for 2 years, Dave. He's doing it. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing right. When you go and spend fucking $24,000 on fucking doors, you're obviously doing something fucking right. And when I asked him, I go, well, goddamn, Dave, do you think that's too much?
How much is free?
Goes,
is free too much? Yeah.
It's free too much.
And that's it. Hey, you made a 10X on Solana. What'd you do with it? You watch it go down to 10?
Yeah. Exactly. And he knows, God dang it, for you, you've mentioned a lot of coins. You mentioned all my old shit going back. I'm glad I'm not the only dumbass holding all those fucking goddamn shit coins. Because I'm like, I was proud and kind of embarrassed going, nah, I don't want to fucking goddamn mention. They're going to think I'm an idiot. No, you know what? That was a learning curve. That was, dude, we were all new. 17 wasn't that long ago. And I think almost in 17, we didn't know Bitcoin
17 wasn't that long ago. That's 7 years in crypto. That's already, you know.
It's an eternity.
It's huge. God damn, I was scared to death. I didn't even know how to turn on, still don't know how to turn on the fucking computer. For me to go and do anything in crypto, I got to drive fucking goddamn 10 hours. See 5 days ago. Hey, man, how do I turn this fucking shit on? I just got lucky. I got started. I was in metals. And then when Clif was going 222 on, that's when I got in. I don't even know when that was. And so I was like, look at this idiot. Clif High's an idiot. This guy, and boom, he hit it. Then he hit 689 and then 3 times and then 888. And I went,
488.
Shit, dude, this guy's got, that's when I was all in and I jumped in. I ran a small business and some kids used to work for me. I go, hit the computer like they do and get me that shit. And that's how I got in. And then I put it in a safe wallet and it stays there.
And you still got it.
Out. Yeah. I wrote it up. I was the richest man going, look, richest, dumbest man giving people advice. Look, I'm a genius. I'm a million. Just to see it 2 months later go, oh, man, it's going down. What's that chart that you show? I was way down on hopium, down at the bottom. And then it went up another time, and I was like, hey, dude, look how smart I am. I did that, and now I went up a little higher. And then went 3 times already, and I was like, okay, maybe I need a little FU money.
Peer-to-peer.
Like the way
peer-to-peer electronic currency, bro. You got to be able to use it.
Real quick, the way I got into crypto was just finished college, and my friend, he went to college out here in California, and he was a computer science major. So he's all up to, and he's like, hey, you heard of Bitcoin? I was like, no, because I was an econ major. And I didn't really understand like how to get it, whatever, but I had him to get me it, but he told me like Satoshis. And I was like, wait a minute. So it's like, you could split it up 1,000,000 times. He's like, yeah. And I was like, so basically in theory, it's like unlimited money. He was like, yeah. I was like, all right. Like I didn't have a lot of money at the time, but I put a little bit of money in and then it became more money. Right. But it's like, I think it's funny, like people who got in crypto pretty early, they always have like stories where you kind of stumble into it, you know? Mm-hmm. And everyone says, oh, I would have bought a whole bunch in 2013. It's like, really? Because it was like so sketchy back then.
Yeah, you would have bought 2 pizzas.
It was, but
for
I had no
10,000.
other choice.
That's what you would have done.
Yeah.
I had nothing else I could invest in. So that was why I went into crypto.
Well, this is what they told me. Look, go down to Walgreens, wire somebody in, I don't know where, Africa, some money. And I go, okay, I want to do like, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000. Well, what do I get? You're going to get a bunch of numbers and letters. I go, what? Numbers? Yeah. And I go, no, I want a Bitcoin. I want a coin. And they're like, no, there's no coin. I go, well, what does that mean? Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, yeah, India? You want me to send my money to India? And then somebody... And I don't know how many I could have bought back then because it was back when they were doing that. I was like, no, dude, I can't. Dude, I'll throw a fucking $1. And if I would have thrown $1, I'd probably be a lot richer now. I mean, I would have thrown $100 at anything, and I wouldn't have known how to cash out. I mean, it would have still probably been in Mount Gox. Dude, I saw it. I saw all that shit, and I'm like, I'm glad I wasn't that dumb to get into all that shit, that Ponzi bullshit scheme.
But see, that's the lesson to learn, though. It happens every cycle to where and you see the scammers coming out now to where there's a value to it. There's a value to it, because it's portable. You can transfer it anywhere in the world. You had to go to India to get it. And I mean, so there's that utility of it to where it's very seamless. It's very borderless, and it's decentralized. It allows you to be able to send that anywhere in the world, and to have that ability. Because now, just talk about JSNIP. You talked about it earlier, to where I can't even send my money, money that I have in the bank. I can't even wire it to certain places. Huh? Okay. And then you have this other thing. Once your mind gets a hold of it, wait a minute, nobody can stop me from doing this. Yeah, it might take a little bit longer and a lot more, fees to do it now for Bitcoin, but I mean, once you get it, and you understand that, holy crap, because that light bulb goes off for all of us. Once it goes off, you're like, okay, this is a game changer. I mean, this is something that they can't control as much as the propaganda and the narrative, and that's what they done. Mt. Gox, FTX, all the the derivatives and all the futures and all this, the ETFs, all the stuff they throw at us. They want to get it. They want to acquire it, and so that makes you think, why do they want to acquire this? Why does Larry Fink want to hold Bitcoin? Why does this trillionaire basically controls $1 trillion, want to hold Bitcoin? And you start understanding that, well, this has something that they can't do and that they want. Maybe that's something I should have.
That's something I should. That's what
before it's too late.
Well, at first I just said, let me throw a little mud at the wall. And I was like, and that was during I remember Bix talking about it, and he's like, nah, it's a Ponzi scheme. I watched it all. I just didn't know how to buy the damn. I didn't own a computer back then. For all those guys that think they're going to hack me or whatever, dude, I don't even know where that computer is that I have. It's safe. I don't pull out. I haven't touched it since I bought way the hell back then. I don't really give a shit, so I'm not as worried. Dave's told me I'm pretty damn safe, so he's made sure of that. So if I'm not around and you see Dave fucking as a big baller in his goddamn Bentley with his fucking Krager mags, and I'm not around anywhere, no, I'm just joking. You know what? I don't need, and thank God I've been blessed. I haven't needed the money, and so I haven't needed to take out anything. So good luck. I mean, but it is true. Like I said, Dub, I've enjoyed. Since the last time I've seen just about everything you've done. Dave says I got to go back to, what is it, where he was talking about 2004, or what was it? You said that I need to see of DubDigital.
Oh, the 4-year cycle.
The 4-year cycle.
Y'all go watch DubDigital's channel.
Guy knows.
He did a lot on the 4-year cycle, lays it out perfectly.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I'll have a look.
Like the 4-year cycles, it's kind of like, I think it's lengthening over time. Like my understanding of the changes. Obviously, I think because I got in 2013, and like if you look at the fractal in 2013, you know how like this 2020 came up when he crashed down and you've kind of been consolidating. It looks like 2013, but that consolidation took like 4 months. This took like 2 years plus. Right. So I think moving forward, if Bitcoin does start to move, it could move more exponentially than people are expecting, because like humans like to think in ways that are like predictable patterns. But like Bitcoin is unpredictable. Right. So it would be like in its forte to move, like catch everyone off guard. Right.
Always does.
Yeah, I think we're going to see like a newspaper with like 100K BTC, and then a week later we might see one giant green fucking candle, or a month later even, and go like, oh, it's 1 million now. We just added another zero.
Well,
once the floodgates are open.
I have a separate thought on that. So like this last 4-year cycle, so for 2021, I was expecting a 10x at a previous all-time high. So when Bitcoin was 19,000, that's why I was telling everyone I'm expecting $190,000 Bitcoin. Well, what if I was correct, but it didn't play out? What if this time is going to be another 10x from that 190 and be 1.9 million of Bitcoin because of all this ETF stuff and all of this other stuff coming about? So what if that would play into the same math? So in that aspect, as far as like 2021, they said, no, not yet. We're not going to let it run. But what if in 2025 they do?
Well, then it's also lining up with the dollar falling, interest rates supposedly coming down. Hasn't happened yet. And then the halving
compliance has the same timeline.
And the ETF.
Compliance has the same timeline globally. Like the whole world is ready for it with like, regulatory frameworks, UN,
Tell us about
G7.
it, State.
Yeah, no, but those are big players. If you just look at like the UN, World Economic Forum, you look at G7, G20. I mean, it all aligns on the same timeline. They're the same people. I mean, it's
yeah.
And
like that's the thing. Like a lot of some of my followers, like we talk about stuff. Like I talk to my viewers. I try to. There's like not a lot of people there, and basically they're like, oh, it's gonna hit the top, then come down, then 2025. It's like, do you really think if a Bitcoin ETF passes, BlackRock's gonna let you get your Bitcoin?
Right.
Do you think they're gonna wait?
Because that's their whole goal. Their whole goal is to make sure you don't have any of it, and so they want to have it all. And so that throws a monkey wrench into the whole thing.
Yeah, so like everyone thinks they have all this time to get their coins until it just takes off, and that's why FOMO exists.
Mm-hmm.
I still
we'll
say
see.
Yeah, but something fundamental changes. I mean, it's not only like buy the anticipation, sell the news. There's also something fundamentally changing in the liquidity pools that certain vast pockets of money are suddenly capable of just trading quickly with an ETF for Bitcoin. We got one for Ethereum in Delaware as well. There was like, a leakage that appeared to be fake for XRP as well. So what's stopping it from, once regulatory frameworks are there, why wouldn't there be a Litecoin ETF at some point?
That's what I'm saying. Because like there will, if once there's the formula's let out the bag, then everyone's going to be making the freaking ETFs, and it's going to pass.
Yep, it'll have to. I mean, because once you open the floodgates, there's all these trillions that are sitting out there that have the ability to move. And new asset, cool. All right, here we go.
Yeah, the fees are too high on this Bitcoin. Can I still send this money? Yeah, buy some Litecoin. Here you go.
Well,
you just called your broker. Called your broker for BlackRock, and the broker says, "Yeah, and then we'll just get a Litecoin ETF. You need to sign here."
Look at the Grayscale right now. Look at the Grayscale to where you look at where Litecoin's at. With what they hold. And you look at the price of it. And it's like, wait a minute, that's way overvalued. There's arbitrage there. For the underlying asset. They're pricing Litecoin at like over $200 on Grayscale. Well, when you look at Bitcoin, when you look at Ethereum on Grayscale, it's like 1 or 2% off. And you start thinking, okay, is somebody telegraphing this? Does somebody know this? I mean, what's happening there? But yeah, once that first ETF wave opens up, and I mean, Litecoin's right there waiting. There's other cryptos waiting.
Grayscale, Stake, and the big two big boys leaving.
Yeah, they left the first of the year.
Well, Grayscale is definitely ahead of the rest, but the SEC doesn't want to be kingmaker. So, they want to approve all the, I think, 10 or so ETFs at the same time. Because whoever goes first kind of has an advantage. So it's just, I think once it happens all at once. I think the whole thing is going to happen all at once.
Yeah,
like, I don't think it's, I talked about this before. I'll just quickly wrap it up. It's like, this is a finite asset in an asset class. This is not something that's like growing in the same way as like other assets are growing. So once you're early, you don't want to take your time and investment strategy and buy a little bit over time. You basically want to buy everything from the get-go. So it's like, you have this shooting gun, race starts, and just everything's bought. Boom, done. Whole store is bought, everything. Every influencer, every infrastructure, every server, every mining pool, every resource for the mining pool, everything gets bought immediately. The whole fucking infrastructure. It's like you can't touch anything. They want to control the whole fucking thing. Berkshire Hathaway gets a little bit of a cut. BlackRock gets a little bit of a cut. Fidelity gets a little bit of a cut. They'll just chop it up, and none of them want to lose to one another.
And they're buying the other coins too, Stake. They're buying Litecoin. Johnny Law comes up and shows us that we're under the illusion that they're only buying the Bitcoin. Somebody's buying all that Litecoin that's coming out there. The Digibyte. What do they know?
Yeah, because if you have Bitcoin that's full because of the fees, and you'll use Bitcoin for very large sums of money, but there will still be blocks that are too full, and you still want to transfer money over a blockchain, but it's not big enough for the miners to accept the fee. Now it's like they have this gentleman agreement where they basically 99% of the miners say, first come, first go. But once it becomes really competitive with miners, because the big money is in there, everyone's going to go for the monetary value. Eventually, it gets pushed down to it. So it makes sense that then blocks would fill up with the biggest transactions go first, and then the blocks fill up, and then you go to Litecoin and you fill it up, and maybe it's their way to push retail to different chains, and basically say, yeah, you own Bitcoin, but you can never send it because you ain't got any fees. It's just yeah, you know, you can't do shit with it.
And real quick, they already
they got to swap it. Sorry,
they already let the cat out of the bag with Grayscale. They already talked about on an interview about potentially converting their trust on all altcoins into ETFs. Right, so all of a sudden you don't see anything filed, and then bang, converted trust into ETFs. Like they're already talking about this, you know. So I think that's one thing, and you also see, like, you know, I've been in space a lot. I talk about WAN chain a lot. Reason being is I see a bunch of countries sneaking in behind chains, right? Like WAN chain's been working with China's State Grid, which is the biggest utility, second biggest utility in the world, right? You see China sneak in there. You see like Saudi Arabia having coins. You know, you see Japan SBI Group working with XRP. Like there's a value in being able to send money like unencumbered. Countries want it, corporations want it, people want it, and they want to be able to like have large stakes of chains, right?
They said there was going to be the nation states that settled their money, and okay, few of us have a little bit of Bitcoin. Not like we have Saylor and all these other fuckers have it. And you know, let's bring up the hidden Bitcoin Cash. Y'all seen that? Saw BSV. I don't know how much, right? But put it this way: what does Bitcoin Cash not do? Why is that the silent?
I don't really believe in like Greg Wright being Satoshi, but
I don't either.
the whole patent thing with N-Chain, the 4,000 patents that they have, I think something will stick. You know.
And put it this way.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: seeing how Bitcoin Cash works, do you not see it as a better form of Bitcoin? I don't know. What do you think, Clint?
You got to look at what's already in place. I mean, and already ready to go. I mean, you look at PayPal, and they've got 4 coins on it. Yeah. Now, it's not that I agree with all the 4 coins, but they're on it. You know, and so
it's a play.
You open the floodgates, and they're already positioned. And so, you know, you're going to benefit, I would think, you know, they're going to benefit from the influx of money. You know, you got Bitcoin, you got Bitcoin Cash, you got Ethereum, you got Litecoin. And I mean, those are always they've kind of been the big 4 that have always kind of been on the platforms. You know, like it or not, I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, those are already in place and ready. You know, once it opens up, I mean, boom, it's already there. And there's a lot of money flowing around on those platforms. You know, PayPal, Venmo.
Dubnote, I think he mentioned it on the show. Shit, they're all over China, aren't they? Bitcoin Cash, India,
Southeast Asia. I mean, like, you know, they do a lot more peer-to-peer payments because there's lack of infrastructure in some of these countries. So you'll see people like, it's a big thing on Bitcoin Cash, like, you know, social media where they go and they pay for like ramen. Yeah. Boop, right?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Also in Africa, right? But like, here's the thing. Yeah, they're already lined up, like Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Bitcoin are all up on the big apps. But also there's some that like do dominate that peer-to-peer niche. You know? Yep. But here's the thing, it's like the West looks at it like, oh, it's on PayPal, that's what's gonna go up. Yeah. The East looks at it like, oh, it's cheap.
What works?
Yeah,
what's cheap? How can I transact and actually send value without getting screwed?
It's a different.
How are they going to distract us? Are they going to come up and give us some FOMO over here, some bullshit over here, and then you know how the fucking sheep run? They can't stand it. They run right to wherever the shiny object is, dude. If we've said it here before, if there's still a fiat currency that's a derivative of the bullshit market, well then, we're just playing the game. And how do they get us? They show us over here, and Craig wrong did this, but we're going to be convinced that it's going this way. So the sheep, take a look at Pepe. Take a look at Doge. Doge didn't move until Elon Musk said something.
Yo, see, that's the thing.
Good, bad, or otherwise, it didn't move until we had a manipulation.
Well, I think that's a genius. I think that's the actual genius of Elon Musk. He saw Doge. It has 4 million wallets. It's all over the world. It's funny. Like he just grabbed it and he's going to use it for Twitter. Like,
yeah,
that's the beautiful part about.
Why not?
Like,
it works.
That's decentralized. That's the value of decentralized networks. It's already.
What about that X coin? Is that the X coin? I don't know.
Well, yeah, like a couple years ago, he turned the Twitter bird into Doge, and then he's been messing with Doge. Like he's gonna do something with Doge, and he wants to make it a financial platform too, right? Like kind of WeChat of America.
Like in the next 6 months, he said, we're gonna have financial transactions on X. That's what he's always wanted. 20 years ago, he wanted that.
One thing that's coming, I saw a tweet, like I think it was today actually, where he replied to one of the AI builders in the EX spaces I go to, that they asked Elon Musk, hey Elon, like a random tweet with like an ad, like he gets 1 billion of those a day, I guess. Like, hey Elon, when are you going to allow us to put code in tweets in a good format so we can share it? And he got a reply from Elon Musk himself, yeah, we're working on that, it's coming SAP. And it's just, it's they know, like they're definitely, they're definitely with their head in the game. They know where it's going. They know where it's heading. And if you look at all these things, and I know for people that are new in this space, it's a lot to unpack. But if you've been in it for a while and you kind of keep up with the news, you kind of see the contours of this whole infrastructure being built and different players that want to have. They want to monetize on it. They want to make money out of it. Like all the big boys want to make money out of this shit because they know this is where money is going to be made. And we're in it. We're in it. So it's just, how do I position myself? Like, how do I don't get fucked? That's basically my position. That's what I'm paying attention for. I'm just like, I'm not even a fucking shrimp. I'm a plankton. I'm like one of those one-celled amoebs that's scavenging on the bottom. Like I got in 21. 4 weeks later, we had a 65% correction. That was my tuition money. So I was like, okay, guess I'll be DCAing. Fine, sure, great. Let's go into crypto. So I've been going balls deep for the past I don't know, 2.5 years already.
At least you're swimming.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm breathing. I'm still there. I'm in the green. Don't get me wrong, but it's just it's been a hell of a journey. And if you look at that, and then you got all these sharks and whales swimming around, I'm not one of those. Like, it's just I want to make my money. Hopefully, I can make this like a full-time, investment thing. That would be great because I think I got what it takes to pay attention to where the market is going, or at least I like to think I do. But I got to capitalize on it.
Yeah,
and
you got to do something
my angle's been
life.
The Fortress of Solitude for sure.
Yeah, absolutely,
for sure. Yeah, I know you want to go there probably. Yeah.
No, I won't go there, but
I agree.
You know what I'm talking about, and that's true. I mean,
But at the end of the day, like, what the fuck are you going to do as like a peasant retail investor compared to like the fucking money and power that these people have? You just look at the way they do business, and it's just it's a cutthroat industry. Fuck knows where life's going to go. I'm 38. At some point, these motherfuckers will die. I mean, they're old. Most of them are.
Wait. What are you talking about? Me, goddamn stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Veritasium. Yeah, I'm talking about you holding all the assets, fucking hoarder. Jesus Christ. Leave some for the rest of us, Javi. You fucking shark.
I'm gonna spend it on what is it you say? Blowing
hookers and blow.
Hookers and blow, baby. Woo!
Yeah. Give it back to the lower classes. I like that.
He's going to have 25-cent stickers on the Bentley driving down the road.
Only 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
You should have a baby on board sticker.
Neon stickers. Yeah, he's going to have multiple babies on board if he's not careful.
Oh shit! Hey guys, it's 2:20.
Oh yeah.
2:22.
2:22.
By so fast, man.
Yeah, I know.
Now we do stick around a little bit, Dub. I don't know if you know or not.
Usually it's only a 2-hour show or tour.
Yeah,
but,
just
we can go. We can do Web3 now. We can do another 2 hours.
Yeah, right.
No, it's all
get a new
good.
battery for the phone.
Man. Guys, if you can get a chance, go over to Dub. I love it. I absolutely like it. I don't think there's. I'm just going further and further. Now I can go and dig a little deeper, and it's enjoyable that he's like-minded, but in a different way. And so it brings in that energy. You've got Stakes energy. You've got, if he's out there, just take a listen. And hey, if it worked for you, join, follow him, do whatever.
Yeah, I'll put.
I don't do any of that shit because I don't know how.
I'll put a link to your channel in the description below. So once
definitely
this gets published, I'll put this out there. I did that on the last one as well. And also this time I'll do it. I'll put Clint's links for his YouTube channel in the description as well. So that way anyone can find any one of us. And we need to get to where we can like simulcast on everyone's different channels. I've got something set up in StreamYard to where each person can upload their own, to their own YouTube channel if they wish to. So just throwing that out there.
And me, Dub, I don't have any channel because I have a channel or something. I don't even know how to I don't have a computer with me. I don't even know how to use it.
You're a freaking parasite.
He set it up. He goes, look, you push this button. You push this button.
Can you, Javi, for your demographics, can you set up a radio channel?
No,
yeah, right.
Driving.
You got a hammer. You got a CB in the van.
No, I can't.
Citizens van.
He saw me try to text something to somebody, and he goes, "Damn, you still haven't texted that yet?" And I'm like, "It was a sentence," and I'm going, "I'm exhausted, dude.
I can't.
Look at these thumbs. Look at these.
I work in real time.
Hey, send me your Bitcoins. I'll send you double back.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'll give.
Wait, where?
You're not Michael Saylor.
Yeah.
He was the one on YouTube telling me to send it to him. And,
well, we can get Garlinghouse. We can get Garlinghouse or Vitalik.
See how many people come up. You ought to see all these beautiful Asian women, and I start getting a lot of these. Everybody wants to be my friend.
I sent all my Bitcoin to an AI model.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where we're headed.
She said she loves me.
Work. They send me some.
She talks to me all day. She talks to me.
Yeah,
I love her.
For 10 BTC, I'll tell you I love you.
It's like a strip club. I mean, seriously, it's like, oh, she loves me. You keep throwing money at her. She loves me. Yeah. And then the lights come on. Yeah, it's time to get out.
Long time. I'm like, okay, no, dude. Since I don't know, I only have this phone, and I'm like, no. I go, wait. What's the chances of a nice, absolutely drop dead gorgeous
mermaid,
22-year-old mermaid
swimming into your world?
And a outspoken, person like
hey, Javi, how many do you want?
Yeah, we'll send them.
Yeah, but I don't have the zeros yet.
Soon, you just gotta put it in your earbud, and then you'll
exactly get the trident out. We'll send you a free trident, and you can subscribe to the mermaid channel, and then you can hold your trident while the mermaids talk to you.
You just put on a Santa costume and ask her to sit in your lap, and you're done.
Yeah, that's no problem.
I got to take some medicine. I'm starting to cramp up.
Like we all do.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, guys.
Hey,
you want to wrap it up, Dave?
We're closing this up at 2:30. Guys, always a good time. I really enjoyed it. DubDigital probably going, I thought we were talking about crypto. About everything but.
It's just a tool.
Yeah, so sorry about that if we didn't talk about
it's cool. It's always fun. I'm glad to be talking with you guys. You guys at least understand the spirit of crypto, which is kind of hard to find nowadays.
It is.
Yeah, you know what?
It is.
Yeah, none of us are bought, none of us are paid for, and we just we mentioned what we
just have questions.
Yeah, I just ask questions. That's all I do. This is why I can't be wrong.
Yeah, I like that strategy. Thanks, guys. Well, it's been fun. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, like I said, stick around if you want. If not, like I said, we go in right after I don't know, whatever the hell happens.
The outro. Hey, where's our Digibyte at? Digibyte donations. Got to get to 1,000 subscribers. Where are we at? Where are we at?
Let's see.
Put that out
he
there.
didn't do it because we probably lost 6 more people.
Nah, we're all right.
We
got a few.
I don't know what it is. I think we have a 80% following, and we lose people every week. I mean, what the hell?
Well, no. I gained 10. I gained 10, and I gained.
Where are we at?
10 people.
Look at that.
Subscribers.
$100 in. $146 now.
Yeah,
gotta love that.
This one's $100, and at 1,000 subscribers, this could be yours. This is going to be a.
You know what's funny? It's that if we can just keep this fee out there for years to come, And
Yeah.
it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Just a sponge soaking up the fiat. That's what it's intended to do. Soak up that fake money, that vampire casino money, going into the new money, the sound money for the digital age. Right there, you're watching it happen.
Anyway, we're out, brothers.
All right, guys. It's been fun. I love these shows. This has been Let's Hash It Out, episode 26. Half a year. So,
Yeah. Do you want to
this
do a
is the
Happy New Year?
Last stream of the year. Last stream of the year. Next stream of a new year. So 2024. So
shit, I'll be older.
Yeah, we
I
all
hope
will.
so.
All right, guys. Well, y'all go make it a day. Love you all. Later.